Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 12:07.
From the Pella Windows and Doors mobile studio at the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone, it's the Jeff Wagner Show, live from Summerfest. Now, here's Jeff Wagner.
Good afternoon, Wisconsin. Welcome to the show. So very glad to have you with us. It is another Chamber of Commerce Day. Summerfest 2023 opened up the second day opened up about 8 minutes ago, and people are flocking down to the lakefront. I will tell you something. This is a day you need to get down here because it's just absolutely beautiful. And one of the things that I noticed, our mobile broadcast facility is, of course, right on the lake. I'm overlooking the Summerfest Lagoon, but just on the main drag, which is just, about 50 yards behind me, the temperature difference, you want to talk about cooler by the lake. There is a wonderful breeze that's coming off the lake, and if you think it's a little bit too cool, I was sitting out at one of the picnic tables, no problem. You walk into the main drag, it's at least 10 or 15 degrees warmer. So we have something for everybody, no rain in the forecast, and the lineup of music today is just absolutely unbelievable. The Zac Brown Band, one of my all-time favorites. They are the headline act at the American Family Amphitheater, but it doesn't just stop there. 3:30 this afternoon, and I'm kicking myself because I didn't look at the schedule beforehand, and I have somewhere I have to be this afternoon. But 3:30 this afternoon, right behind where I am at the Generac Power Stage, is Carolyn Jones. If you've never heard Caroline Jones, you really should. She was really discovered by Jimmy Buffett, and if you're a regular listener to this program, you know I'm a huge Buffett fan. She's performing at 3:30 this afternoon. Later on some of the other stages, the Romantics at 6:30 at the Uline Warehouse, 9:30, Fritz and the Tantrums. There's the Avett Brothers. They're at the BMO Pavilion at 9:30 tonight. It's just, it is loaded with incredible talent, and you really want to walk around. There's lots of new vendors that are here. It was very, very well attended yesterday, in part because of the great lineup, and in part, I think, because of just the wonderful weather. So I suspect today we'll have even more people. Come down early, stop off at our mobile broadcast facility, and say hello. All right, if you want to check out what's going on as well, though, I tell you, we are fully loaded down here. We're going to be live streaming in just a moment. We're working on that. We've got Dylan and Emma, who do a tremendous job with our live stream, so you can listen to us, of course, through the Listen Live feature on WTMJ.com. But in addition, you can go onto YouTube. We've got our own YouTube channel, and you can watch all the goings-on from Summerfest at our mobile broadcast facility, or you can go to WTMJ.com, and instead of hitting the Listen Live button, you hit the Watch Live button, and you can see everything that's going on here. We also have a camera outside that watches people who end up walking by. So that's going to be up and running in just a couple minutes, and a large number of you took advantage of that yesterday. In part, you get to see how my wife Fran has dressed me on any given day, and that's always kind of a treat. A lot of stuff coming up on today's program. I'm sure we're going to have lots of calls on our topics. Be sure to be nice to my producer, Sam. Sam is going to be the new full-time producer, about a week or so, taking over from Charlie, who's getting ready to move on to another assignment at the station. So this is, I think, her first Friday doing completely solo, so be kind to Sam as well. Let us get started. First, if you will remember, one of the things we've been talking about that affects all of us is the road construction that's been going on. And my big beef is, I know that you're in a situation where I know the roads have to be improved. I get it. I know the roads have to be widened and all those things. My concern has been the fact that we're doing this all at once. That you've got the freeway, for example, north from the city of Milwaukee out to Grafton. The freeway is being worked on, and then, of course, you've got most of the side roads that are being worked on, and the effect of this is it's very, very difficult to get around. And you saw that story happen today, and we saw what happened because if you weren't paying attention, there was a crash. Now, the good news is this crash, which occurred just south of the Capitol Drive exit around Atkinson and Keefe, it happened at 7:30 in the morning. And the good news is there were no injuries as a result of this. So this wasn't something where you had to have Flight for Life come in or anything like that. But the problem is, in these areas, you cannot get like the emergency vehicles in. In many cases, you're down to 2 lanes, there's no shoulder, so when there is a collision, when there's a crash, essentially the traffic has to back up, they've got to clear it out, they've got to figure out how to get in, and what was an ordinary crash ended up, well, I don't know, essentially shutting down the freeway for about 2 hours. And that's one of the ongoing things. So I bring that up because this is the road construction season. If you're trying to figure out a way to get around, you got to have that alternative route because you never know when you're going to run into that stuff. All right, let us get started. I am curious how you react to this. Wisconsin, for high-income earners, has one of the highest individual tax rates in the country. Yes, in the country. And one of the things that results in is a lot of high-income earners, particularly when they get close to retirement, they leave the state or they change their residency. Can I see a show of hands? How many people know people who have moved to a low-tax state? Maybe it's Tennessee, maybe it's Florida, maybe it's Arizona, in part because they want to avoid the onerous level of taxation that exists in Wisconsin. So Republican lawmakers, in an attempt to, I think, keep more people in Wisconsin and also make the income tax system more, I'm going to use the word fair, and we can debate that later on, have come out with a proposal, and this is through the Joint Finance Committee, which would cut income taxes for all residents in the state of Wisconsin. So everybody's tax rate would be cut. Now, because we have what is called a progressive system, because people who make less money pay a smaller percentage of their taxes than people who make more money, the cut would have a greater benefit to the high income earners, but they're the ones that are paying most of the taxes anyways. So here's the deal. For top earners, this would be married couples who earn a little bit over $400,000. The top tax rate would drop from 7.65% to 6.5%. That would be about a 15% reduction. For the second highest rate, people who make between $36,800 and $405,000, the rate would reduce from 5.3% to 4.4%, and that's about a 17% reduction. And for the lowest income earners, people who earn about $37,000 a year and less as a couple, the rate would go from 4.65 to 4.4%. So then the bottom rate would reduce slightly as well. So there would be a smaller reduction for the people who are paying only a small portion of their income. There would be a larger reduction for people who are paying a greater point. If you look at the proposal, for example, people making around between $40,000 and $50,000 would save an average of $88 a year. Those making between $100,000 and $125,000 would save about $678. Those making over $1 million would save about $30,000 a year. But in general, everybody would get a break. It's just that the high income earners, the people who already pay a substantially higher percentage of their income to the state, they would, they'd get a higher percentage decrease, and they would get, if you're just looking at the bottom line, they would end up paying less in dollars. Our number, 855-616-1620. That's the Old National Bank talk and text line. All right. Let's have this discussion. Now, already Governor Evers is saying, this is terrible. I don't want to see, the tax reductions going to those people who pay most of the taxes already. I want to see it targeted more towards the lower income earners. 855-616-1620. What do you think? We discuss in just a moment. This is Jeff Wagner broadcasting live from Summerfest.
More Jeff Wagner right after this.
Did you know just one blood donation can save up to 3 people's lives? Hi, WTMJ Sandy Max here. Please join me and our WTMJ Cares initiative to donate blood to those who need it the most. Join us on June 26th, 27th, and 28th as we partner with the American Red Cross and Gruber Law Offices for a blood drive at the Milwaukee County Zoo. Visit WTMJ.com or text BLOOD to 855-616-1620. You can make a difference with WTMJ Cares and me, Sandy Max.
Now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Watch out. That old deck might cost you more than a weekend of upkeep, painting, staining, or replacing old boards. That old deck on the surface may look awful and quite embarrassing in your pictures. Beyond the surface, that old deck could be a potential hazard waiting to happen. There are many inspection points to know if your deck is ready to support your family and friends for the weekend party, or if you've lost trust and need to replace before the big problems happen to you. Many old decks on single-family homes were built by the weekend warrior or the know-it-all do-it-yourselfer. These are weekend projects rushed to be finished by the Sunday evening deadline, maybe even built with a couple cases of beer nearby. Often steps are skipped, process is lost, or even material looked over to finish the job before work on Monday. We find when replacing these types of decks, they were never securely put together to begin with, resulting in the high risk of failure. Not my deck, people say. We use the right stuff. Meanwhile, they never secured or poorly secured the ledger board to the house, didn't use enough or the right hangers, had the wrong lumber to support the size of the deck, or just plain did a bad job. All of which can result in trip hazards, flashing issues, or worse, problems supporting the weight load of your loved ones. As you entertain your family and friends, be proud of how beautiful your deck looks, as well as how you can show off the cool inspection report knowing everyone is safe because your deck was built by the right people.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for outdoor decks. Also replacement windows, roofing, and of course siding. Take the next step. Check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more.
Back for more. Here's WTMJ's Jeff Wagner.
You know, well, I'm a chicken fried and cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
We're back, broadcasting live from Summerfest 2023. That is, of course, the Zac Brown Band, which is the headline performer at the American Family Insurance Amphitheater tonight. 855-616-1620. All right, the Joint Finance Committee came. Now, the Republicans, for the longest time, have been pushing for the state to do, for example, what Illinois has done, which is move to a flat tax. Across the board, the proposal was everybody should pay the same percentage. I think what they were pushing for is like 3.5%. And, of course, that means that if you make $500,000 and you're paying 3.5%, you're going to be paying a lot more than somebody who makes $50,000 that has to pay 3.5%. But the argument would be the flat tax would be fairer. There is a pushback to that. Governor Evers says that's a complete non-starter. So what the Joint Finance Committee has done is said, okay, we can't get to the flat tax, but let's do is let's provide tax relief across the board. But those people who are paying a smaller percentage of their income now and are paying smaller net dollars, yeah, we're going to give them a break, but we're also going to give a break to the large income earners, the people that are paying what I think you could argue is a disproportionate share of their income in taxes. 855-616-1620. Jeff, one of our texts says, if you look at the higher wage earners, they've got the means to leave the state, so it should be them to get the biggest reduction. Well, I mean, again, with a progressive system, it almost has to be that way. So the idea is the highest bracket is going to get about a 1% drop, but that's 7 to 6%. The lowest brackets go from, what is it, like 3.4 to 3 or something like that. It's just, from a percentage perspective, those who are paying the largest amount. From a net tax perspective, those who are paying the largest amount, yes, they're going to get the largest decrease, but it's because, again, they're paying more and more. 855-616-1620. Let's start with Jack in Caledonia. Jack, you're on WTMJ. Good afternoon.
Happy day to you. Hey, no, I think it'd just be a flat tax, okay? I can't figure out the progressive tax system. I don't know who started it. I don't know when. But just because the rich have more money doesn't mean they should be paying more of their income, okay? We're all in this together. You know, we pay for fire, police, government services, and whether you got a 2,400 square foot house, a 5,000 square foot house, or you're renting out an apartment, you know, the police cost the same. and percentage-wise is just, everybody should be paying the same percentage, okay?
Well, yeah,
the wealthy would still be paying more, but percentage should be the same. And somebody was saying the other day, like if they start at a 4% flat tax, that might be a good starting point, and then figure it out if it has to go up or down. But, flat tax is really the way to go.
Yeah, Jack, thanks for the call. And I don't disagree with that. The problem is you're in a situation now where there's just the governor says he's going to veto it, and anytime you try to do something like this and you declare, okay, we're going to go to a flat tax, we're going to make people pay what they end up having to pay, everybody pays the same percentage across the board. Well, what ends up happening is, oh, this is terrible. This is this war on the poor. No, it's not. What it is, it's an effort to recognize that we have a progressive tax system, but that progressive tax system has gotten out of whack. But the bigger issue is the people that have the higher incomes, all right, they have the flexibility to move. There's been an incredible drain of people leaving the state. This is a way to maybe keep more people in the state, but still it provides middle-class tax relief. Everybody's going to get a break, but it is true that the people who are paying a lot more, they're going to get a larger percentage break, but they're also going to get a larger break when it comes to, the bottom line of how much they pay. But it's not like they're not paying money. I mean, it's not like they're not paying money. 855-616-1620. Everyone should pay the same percentage of every single dollar that they make. Well, that's what the flat tax would do. Like I say, and in many states, just let's look at our neighbor to the south, Illinois has a flat tax. It's like 4.9% or something like that when it comes to the state income tax. So there's no distinction at all that's made there. That's why in Wisconsin, for high income earners, we have one of the higher rates in the country. And if you think it's not impacting people, don't know what to tell you. Scott in South Milwaukee. Scott, you're on WTMJ.
Hi, Jeff. Thanks for taking my phone call. No, on this,
Sure.
Every time this topic comes up, I think that the people who are in support of it, whatever, they present it wrong. And what I would like to, the way that I would like to see it presented is sort of in a pie chart. All right, and what I mean by a pie chart, whatever, is I would like to see it broken down by, all right, if you make, all right, take all the taxpayers who make over $200,000. All right. Multiply them by their estimated net savings that they're going to see, and give us a number. Take all the taxpayers who make less than $200,000, multiply it out by the net savings that they're going to see, and if that's a 50-50 split, whatever, then it's a fair solution. But if that's a 70-30, say that's a 70-30 split, whatever, then the numbers, whatever, need to be readjusted. Again, I'm all in favor, whatever, of reducing taxes. I just think whatever that the tax reductions need to be equitable across all income groups.
Well, Scott, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. I agree with you up to a point. Here's the way I think this needs to be presented, because I think people don't understand who it is that pays taxes and how much taxes that they pay. So, I mean, if you want to talk about a pie chart, this is what I think it needs to be. Show me the pie chart and show me the people who are in right now the highest tax bracket, and show me how much net dollars that they are paying and what percentage of the overall state budget that is. And then let's go. Right now we have 4 tax brackets. This would consolidate them into 3 tax brackets. But then let's go to the next tax bracket. Okay, how many people, how much money are they paying, and what percentage of the overall budget is that? I am confident that when you look at that, you will find that top bracket is paying the overwhelming majority of the taxes that are there. So it goes back to my point of, once you sort of look at the overall amount of money, yes, of course, if you're going to do tax relief, what you're going to see is the people that pay more taxes are going to get more relief, because the people at the bottom end aren't paying that much in tax. So I think this proposal is a great starting point, but I do think I agree with you, I think it needs to be sold. There's all sorts of ways to sell it, but I'm telling you, we've got a budget surplus now. Why do we have a budget surplus? It's because the taxpayers paid too much in money. So as part of it, and there's things you can do, build the roads, do all this sort of stuff, but part of the thing that we need to do is we need to get that money back to the people who paid it. And I think it's fair to get it back to the people who paid it in proportion to which they paid. And that's why I think this is a good idea. Let's take a quick break. Back with lots more in just a couple minutes. This is Jeff Wagner broadcasting live from Summerfest 2023.
Don't go anywhere. Jeff Wagner is back right after this. The land, huh? That's it. That's all you could come up with. Allow us to bring a little good to your land.
Actually, it's pronounced Miliwake, which is Algonquin for the good land.
It's the Brewers and the Guardians in Cleveland. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 5:35. Presented by American Family Insurance. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
That's me. Samantha, would you play another one, please? I'm having trouble opening what I need to open. Play another commercial. We'll be back with...
When I came up with this half-combumbled idea of opening a furniture store in Milwaukee, I still think you're crazy.
And in Arvid from Penny Mustard Furnishings.
My college professors, I was quitting college to start this, and they were, oh, absolutely, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. I had a girlfriend told me not to do it.
But I guess we kind of looked at it as, what's the worst that could happen? We'd have been in debt and we'd owed a lot of money back.
It wouldn't have been that much money. We didn't have that much money, and nobody borrowed us any, so...
So what if I had to work 3 years to pay off all that debt before I made any money again for myself and then go forward from there again?
PennyMustard.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. I always thought Vince Lombardi came up with that famous sports nugget, but it turns out he borrowed it from a college coach. And now I'm going to borrow it too. Because when there are 10 or 20 offers on a property, there's only one winner. In today's inventory-starved real estate market, you need a Lombardi-level mortgage coach. One who has all the best plays in the playbook. Going with your bank for your pre-approval is like playing in a professional playoff game with the JV coach at the helm. The Lombardi-level coaches at AccuNet are called senior loan consultants, and each one has been trained by me to help you and your real estate agent work as one team to deliver the one and only thing that matters, winning. So if you've been losing with your flimsy bank pre-approval, trade up today to a rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval and a Lombardi-level game plan. And if you're just getting started, why not start with the best? Click on the blue button today and get started with your winning game plan at accunet.com.
Now we're set to go. It's WTMJ's Jeff Wagner for the Frederick and the Medical College of Wisconsin's Health Network. Parkinson's disease affects around 1 million people in the U.S. and 15,000 in Wisconsin alone, with symptoms gradually worsening over time. We learned about who is affected. We learned the signs and the symptoms, treatment options, and more from Dr. Karen Blindauer, a neurologist with the Frederick and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network. Listen to that conversation and all our previous everyday health discussions. We've been doing this once a month for over 15 years now, simply by visiting the features drop-down menu at WTMJ.com.
You're listening to Jeff Wagner on WTMJ.
Once again, we are broadcasting live from Summerfest. Plenty of room. Come down, enjoy the weather. Right now, WTMJ Breaking News time is 12:31 p.m. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, here's Connie Weber.
Thank you, Jeff. President Biden banking on reproductive rights to be a galvanizing issue for voters in 2024, collecting 3 top-level endorsements, one from Planned Parenthood, and issuing an executive order to bolster access to contraception, and hosting a rally ahead of the anniversary of the Supreme Court decision that overturned federal abortion protections. An Ohio man accused of fatally shooting his 3 young sons on murder charges has been indicted by a grand jury. 32-year-old Chad Dorman accused of shooting his boys, ages 3, 4, and 7. The motive hasn't been released. Milwaukee police say 5 kids were in a minivan involved in a hit and run. The woman driving it hit a pedestrian, ran from the scene, and police then hit another car before she was finally stopped and arrested last night. One of the kids, a 6-year-old, treated for minor injuries. A $32 million budget cut to the UW system takes another step toward the governor's desk. Cut comes at a time when Wisconsin has a record $7 billion surplus. Governor Evers has threatened to veto the GOP-backed state budget if the UW system cuts were involved. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The markets are still down. The Dow down 133 points right now. S&P 500 is off 17 and the NASDAQ Composite is down 63. Get on track with investment and retirement planning. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button today. Taking a look now at your roads with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. Those slow spots are still slow. I-94 eastbound from Highway 16 to the Zoo interchange, about a 16-minute drive in the Zoo into downtown, another 8 minutes. And also I-43 northbound and southbound between downtown and Brown Deer Road. Just a couple of minutes take you... For northbound, it's about a 13-minute drive. Southbound running about 18 minutes this afternoon.
Traffic is sponsored by Hall Mazda Milwaukee. Visit hallmazdamilwaukee.com.
Be our eyes on the roads. Report accidents, slowdowns, and road conditions to the WTMJ Hall Mazda traffic tip line at 414-238-9329.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast: warm today, hazy sunshine, high 87 inland, clear tonight with a low 62. Sunny, warmer, more humid tomorrow, a high 84 at Lakeside, 90 inland. Chance for showers and thunderstorms Sunday and Monday. Sunday's high 78, Monday 73. Tuesday mostly sunny with a high of 72. Right now, Kenosha 79, Milwaukee we've got 77. I'm Connie Weber. Sighting Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 1233.
I'm Jeff Wagner. We're broadcasting live from Summerfest. Coming up, another day, another police chase, another crash. This time, there's a twist. I'll explain. We'll discuss.
Stay tuned. Jeff Wagner returns after this on WTMJ.
Here's to soaking up surf culture on Wisconsin's fresh coast. Here's to beaches designed for people of all abilities. To sand between your toes and happiness in your heart. Here's to trading skylines for endless Wisconsin shorelines. And to ending each day with smiles all around. Here's to those who Wisconsin.
Sam, you could drop the ball.
Start your summer getaway at travelwisconsin.com.
We see some patients who come in and they have been in just so much pain for so long that they are just deflated.
But that's about to change because QC Kinetics provides hope for relief using all new regenerative treatments that concentrate your body's own healing properties into aching hips, back, shoulders, and knees. And Dr. Zuckerman, a medical director at QC Kinetics, loves watching the patient transformations.
One of the most amazing things is when I get to see a patient who, after a few months of our treatments, is just a completely different person. They are smiling and happy, and the weight of the world is off their shoulders because we were able to take away their pain.
And that's with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime.
It's just amazing to be able to change people's lives like that. It's very gratifying.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Hey, Fleet Farm fans, you asked, we listened. You wanted lower prices? You got them. In-store, online. We drop prices everywhere. Lower prices on summer favorites like Liquid Pool Shock, Griller's Gold Barbecue Pellets, and Airhead Towables. Lower prices on big name pet care like Purina Tidy Cats. Lower prices on Valvoline Motor Oils. All because you said so. Look for the bright green price drop signs to find new lower prices on everything you need for everyday life. Only at Fleet Farm.
Welcome back to Jeff Wagner on WTMJ.
This is Fritz and the Tantrums, who are performing tonight at Summerfest at the Uline Warehouse. They're performing at 9:30. I mentioned earlier that the Romantics were scheduled to perform at 5:30. Apparently, they've canceled their show because one of the band members got injured. But lots of great stuff going on. The Avett brothers are here. If you're down here earlier this afternoon, 3:30, Caroline Jones, who I love her music. Jimmy Buffett kind of discovered her, and that's how I discovered her, through Buffett. All sorts of great stuff going on. And, of course, the main headliner tonight, the Zac Brown Band. And if you've ever seen the Zac Brown Band in concert, you know they put on a great show. Once again, we are live streaming in addition to broadcasting over terrestrial radio and on the stream. And if you want to see what our mobile broadcast facility looks like, and you want to see the view of Summerfest that I have, and if you want to watch me do the show, all you have to do is either go to the YouTube channel, click on WTMJ, we've got our own YouTube channel, or just WTMJ.com, hit the watch live button. Emma is next to me, and she's working the buttons, making sure that the live stream is working, and I appreciate that very much. Okay, I could spend 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, talking about police crashes and chases, because one of the things that's really happened over the last couple of years is that it seems like almost nobody stops for cops anymore. Now, I understand that there are always people who ran from police, but now that is just not the new normal. Police see somebody, they try to pull them over. What happens? First reaction is, here, we're going to hit the gas and we're going to try to run away from them. Now, there might be lots of reasons why they're doing that. It might be because the car is stolen. It might be because there's guns in the car, there's drugs in the car, there's a body in the trunk. Who knows? But this is the new reality, and it's the new normal. Everybody runs from the police. And when they run, bad things tend to happen. So here's the latest example, and it's a story I want to talk to you about from Fox 6 News. All right. Woman taken into custody. This incident starts about 10:30 p.m. All right. There's not a chase going on. Police observe a vehicle hit a pedestrian near 36th and Florist. So 10:30 at night, car hits a vehicle, hits a pedestrian. The pedestrian turns out to be a 42-year-old man, and the driver takes off. So you've got one of these hit-and-run sort of things. At that point in time, having seen somebody strike a pedestrian, the police have no choice but to chase. So they go on pursuit. This starts at 36th and Florist. It ends on 35th and Silver Spring, when the driver, the person who's already hit the pedestrian, collides with two parked cars and then smashes into a pole. And if you've seen like videos of this or the pictures of it, they really smashed into a pole. I mean, it's kind of amazing that people walk away from this. Well, here's the dazzling detail. The woman who did this turns out to be a 24-year-old woman from Milwaukee. So hit and run, slams into a pedestrian, flees from the cops, bangs into parked cars, and crashes into a pole. All right? Here's the dazzling detail. The woman had not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 children in the vehicle at the time this happened. 2 boys, ages 3 and 6, 3 girls, ages 1, 9, and 10. So the oldest kid is 10 years old. You got a 9-year-old, a 6-year-old, and 3 and 1. Now, I don't know, but my guess is these kids probably weren't restrained in car seats. I don't know, but that would kind of be my guess. 6-year-old boy taken to the hospital and treated for non-life-threatening injuries. He's stable. Remaining children were treated at the scene. So, I mean, the good news about this is the man that this woman hit, he's taken to the hospital, but he's going to survive. 4 of the 5 kids, minor injuries treated at the scene. The 5th child, who was taken to the hospital, it's non-life-threatening injuries. His condition is stable. But it's really but for the grace of God that these 5 kids walked away from this incident. It is but for the grace of God that the 42-year-old man who was hit is going to ultimately walk away from this incident. And you've got the 24-year-old woman who, I mean, again, I don't know until they formally issue charges. I don't know what her record's going to look like, but my guess is this is probably not her first time at the rodeo, hit and run, fleeing the cops, smashing into a pole with 5 kids in the car. But here's the aspect of the story that I want to talk to you about. What should happen to this lady? Our number is 855-616-1620. That's the Old National Bank talk and text line. Now, all right, you have this. Nobody's dead. They ended up getting her off the street. The kids aren't seriously injured, with the exception of the one who's in the hospital. The pedestrian is going to survive, but you've got hit and run, you've got fleeing the cops, you've got driving at a high rate of speed, and you've got 5 children in the car. 855-616-1620. That's the Old National Bank talk and text line. Now, in Milwaukee County, there is tremendous pressure on situations like this to say, well, all right, maybe we need to give her a second chance. Maybe we need to give her a third chance. If you are the judge, what do you do with somebody who does what this lady did last night? 855-616-1620. We discuss in a moment.
Don't go anywhere. Jeff Wagner is back right after this.
Eric Bilstead from Wisconsin's Morning News for J.D. Griffiths. For more than 75 years, J.D. Griffiths has been a leader in detached garage builds and premier garage doors. My wife and I have a house about 20 years old. We knew it was time. It needed an upgrade. The doors in the front of the house just looked a little dingy, banged up, so we went to jdgriffiths.com. That's the website, jdgriffiths.com. We got a free at-home estimate, and away we went. Just a few weeks later, brand new doors, and they look great. We were able to customize. We got a great look there. We have some windows now, so I get some nice natural light. And the garage doors are just one of the many things J.D. Griffiths does. They also, remember, detached garage builds as well, and they'll even service issues you're having with your garage doors currently. J.D. Griffiths and jdgriffiths.com. Go to the website now. Get your free at-home estimate set up. J.D. Griffiths and jdgriffiths.com.
What's the way to build your wealth?
While going over a new client's statements from one of the big financial firms, I was floored when I read that firm does not offer tax or estate planning advice, because we know that saving money for our clients on their taxes, legally and well within the law, can make a huge difference in their financial plan. If you want to wisely build your wealth, it is my firm opinion that without a comprehensive approach, you're going to be at a big disadvantage. At Financial Strategies, Inc., we're taking a deep dive and creating comprehensive strategies that develop your retirement, investment, and your tax and estate planning. And all under a fee-only structure that means the success we care about most is yours. I'm Jim Cantrell, and I believe we can show you a wiser way to build your wealth. So go to financialstrategiesinc.com and schedule a no-cost consultation.
Financial strategies, a wiser way to build your wealth.
Ready to downsize and move from your longtime home? Call Bruce's team today. Their senior real estate specialists will guide you every step of the way. Go from overwhelmed to I can do this. 262-242-6177. Bruce'sTeam.com.
Hey, boaters!
Well, if you have an old boat, new boat, or in between, then Kendor Marine is a great place for you to shop. Because not only do we have all the parts and accessories you need for almost any kind of boat, we also have the expert advice that just about any boater is one day gonna need. I'm Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com. At Kendor Marine, we have everything you need but the water. For over 50 years, boaters have found that to be true. Because when they've needed that old part they thought they'd never find, guess what? They found it here, along with everything else you need to keep your boat out there on the water. This is Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
This is Jeff Wagner on WTMJ.
855-616-1620. That is the Old National Bank talk and text line. This case, it's like the trifecta of bad behavior, and it all kind of comes together. You've got the hit and run, you've got the woman that flees police, and then you've got the crash of the car with 5 kids in the car. Now, the good news is, like I say, the person who was hit by this lady before she took off when the cops tried to arrest her, he's in the hospital, but he's going to survive. 4 of the 5 kids, all under the age of 10, 4 of them treated at the scene. 1 is in the hospital, but he's going to survive. But this, to me, this is one of these situations where we've got to just stop mollycoddling. I love that word. These people. This one of our texters says, I'm being sarcastic, so don't jump on me, but clearly this is probation and a signature bond. She'll do better next time. Well, maybe she will do better next time, but she shouldn't be on the street for 5 or 6 years to give her a chance. Then she'll give her some time to think about this. I believe if you run from the cops, high-speed chases, that should be a mandatory minimum prison term. If you hit and run, knowingly doing this, knowingly hit and run, especially with a person, yeah, that should be a mandatory minimum prison term. And these things should be consecutive to each other. This woman should not be out on the street on low bail, or if convicted, she shouldn't be out on the street, in my opinion, for at least 5 years. And maybe it'll discourage her, and maybe it'll send a message to other people. We're sick of folks who flee from the police. And we're not going to get people to stop until we start trying to hold them accountable. Rome in Milwaukee. Rome, you're on WTMJ. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Jeff. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
a Lyft driver, and I'm around the city on a daily basis, all times of day and night. And one of the biggest problems I think that we have is people that are driving cars that are not registered and people that are driving cars that do not have a driver's license. If the police would crack down on the vehicles that don't have license plates, they will be able to take a lot of those cars off the streets. Now, there's another phenomenon that I'm familiar with.
Hey, let me, Rome, let me stop you. I'll let you make your second point. Because I don't disagree with you. What would you have the police do? Okay, let's say I'm a cop. I pull somebody over, the car doesn't have license plates, and the person is driving without a driver's license. What do you think the police should be able to do?
The police should be able to take that car and have it impounded and take that person directly to jail until they can have a speedy trial.
Okay.
Do
Okay,
not
so
pass
you would
go, do not collect $200.
Okay, so you would make it a crime, because right now it's not. You catch people driving without a driver's license. By the way, I don't disagree with you, but right now driving without a driver's license, driving on a revoked license, that's not a crime. It's not a misdemeanor. It's not a crime. So they give you a ticket and the people ball up the ticket and throw it in the back of the car and then they drive off. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm with you.
Ridiculous. Now, the other phenomenon that we have, and when you look in terms of that young lady's age, there is a problem with young women between the ages of 14 and, let's say, 30 who are purchasing cars and driving cars without them being registered, having insurance, or them even having a driver's license. I took a young lady to the DMV the other day to take a driver's test, and she said that she had went to take her driver's test previously where she drove her own car that was not registered, and she had to have a license.
Yeah. It's Rome. Thanks a lot for the call. I mean, it's just, and I know you're giving me an anecdotal example, but this is the stuff that goes on day after day. And you talk to the police, and this is what happens. Now, again, we'll find out, and we'll look at the background. A couple of our texters are agreeing with me that this probably. I mean, I don't know at this point in time, whether the woman, had a driver's license or not. My guess is not, but I don't know that for sure. But this is the type of stuff that goes on a daily basis. And it's one of the reasons why, for example, for people who want to just slap people on the wrist and wonder why it is that other people are uncomfortable. I will tell you this, in all honesty, I've had this conversation over the course of the last 2 days. I have had a similar conversation with at least 5 different people who will not drive in the city of Milwaukee. They won't, because it's this type of stuff. It's, I don't want to be walking on the streets because, who knows when some crazy person is going to come and run me down and then drive off. I don't want to be driving on the streets. I don't even want to park on the streets because who knows when some crazy woman is going to be fleeing the cops, lose control, smash into my car. If the city is going to thrive and survive outside of a couple pockets in the downtown area, what you need to do is you got to get control over this stuff. And the only way you get control over this stuff is if you start having accountability. And if it turns out that some judge puts this lady on some signature bond or like a $500 cash bond and turns her loose to go back and drive again, figuratively speaking, people should be down at the courthouse with pitchforks going, what is going on here? Mary in Oak Creek. Mary, you're on WTMJ.
Hey.
Hi.
Maybe we should stop paying for our plates and license for our cars because there's more of them out there than us.
Well, it seems like that sometimes, doesn't it?
It's getting ridiculous. It is that way. If they check, and then at the end of the year, all their fines are all forgiven because they don't have any money to pay for them, so they forgive them and they start all over again.
Yeah, it's just, thanks for the call, Mary. It's just like, you do wonder sometimes whether those of us who do things the right way, whether we're just the chumps in the system. Okay, I don't know about you. It would never occur to me to drive a car without insurance. It would not occur to me to do that. Wouldn't occur to me to drive a car that's not registered or the registration's up to date. It certainly wouldn't occur to me to drive a car without me having a driver's license. And if I got a situation where you got a couple speeding tickets or whatever and you were getting close to losing your driver's license, I guarantee it would change my behavior. All because I'm probably like you are. We have this concern. We want to do things the right way. But unfortunately, there is a segment of society that doesn't care. Now, again, maybe it's going to turn out to be, I don't know, maybe, this woman's got insurance and maybe, she's got a valid driver's license. Now, that doesn't explain why you run down a pedestrian and then take off and then lead the cops on a high-speed chase. But this stuff has to stop. And I mean, look, I'm all in favor of let's educate people on this and let's give people driver's education, but you could have driver's education out the wazoo and it's not going to change something like this. What do you need to do? To have a class that says, don't hit a pedestrian and then run away, and then when the cops try to pull you over, don't pull over. I mean, do we really need to tell people that? So, I mean, if you want to give driver's education, that's fine. But the only way that this is going to ever change is if we start holding people accountable for this antisocial behavior. And, everybody gets so upset with guns and things like that. And I get it. There's issues with gun violence. But if you're behind the wheel of a couple 1,000-pound automobile and you smash into somebody and you drive off and then you drive recklessly leading the cops on a chase, you are endangering just as many lives as if you start firing off that gun. That's just the reality, and we need to treat it like that. And then you add the fact that you've got 5 kids in the car. The oldest one is 10, the youngest one is 1, and you're engaging in this type of conduct. I agree with our first caller, Rome. Go to jail. Go directly to jail. Do not pass go, and surely do not collect $200. Back with more in just a minute. This is Jeff Wagner.
Stay tuned. Jeff Wagner returns after this on WTMJ.
All right, team, big gig coming up. Wisconsin's Morning News Band got a spot this year. So get your stuff, your instruments. Time for rehearsal. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thankfully, the actual gig will be better than this.
You guys sounded great.
Join WTMJ as we broadcast live from the grounds all Summerfest long at the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone in the Pella Windows and Doors mobile studio. And we promise the music will be better than this.
Hi, it's Samantha with Heiser. Summer's here. Find new roads in the 2023 Chevy Silverado 1500 for only $389 a month when you lease. With inventory on lot and prices never over MSRP, you'll enjoy good company and great adventures with the perfect vehicle. Stop in or shop online today at HeiserChevrolet.com. At Heiser, today's your day.
36-month, 30,000-mile lease. Stock number W13331, 55,345 MSRP, 4584 DAS. Must qualify for financing. Text on a license, $399 service fee extra, and 6/30/23.
Wealth-changing question. Is your investment portfolio really customized? Some advisors say they customize them, but all they really do is ask you a few questions, then put all your money in a model portfolio. Here at Creative Planning, each of our private wealth management clients' portfolios is unique. Your investment mix will be based on your custom financial plan. If that's not how your money's managed, you're not getting the customization you deserve. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
For your new roof, we'll give you the hands-down best lifetime workmanship warranty in the industry. You can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here. You ever ask yourself the question, what do I want to be known for? Do you know the answer? Are you in the right place to realize those aspirations? If not, LAK's Career Fit program can get you there. They'll work with you to create a roadmap to get you on a trajectory toward career fulfillment and renewed meaning in life, so you can truly discover what you were meant to do. Find out more about Career Fit. Visit transformingcareers.com. LAK Group, discover your human advantage.
Make your next family trip one for the history books at Old World, Wisconsin. Set against the natural beauty of the Kettle Moraine State Forest, you'll enter a one-of-a-kind place where the modern world fades away. Explore authentically restored homes, farms, stores, and workshops representing more than a century of Wisconsin history. Meet heritage farm animals, visit a one-room schoolhouse, lend a hand in the blacksmith shop, ride a high-wheel bicycle, and so much more. Travel through time and the stories of America's heartland. Get your tickets at oldworldwisconsin.wisconsinhistory.org.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Welcome back to Jeff Wagner on WTMJ.
We are, of course, broadcasting live from Summerfest 2023. This is Bleachers. They are going to be performing right behind where I'm sitting right now at the Generac Power Stage. They're on at 9:30 tonight. Sometimes I don't know if it's I don't understand what motivates some people or whether I understand it and I'm kind of appalled by it. Now, during the program yesterday, we had the breaking news of that they found the remains of this submarine, this submersible that had gone down, and everybody had been searching for it for the last few days. Well, it turns out that the Navy had a pretty good idea at what had happened, that early on in the dive, it appears that it had imploded. In other words, the water pressure, as it got closer to the hull of the Titanic, the water pressure caused this 22-foot carbon fiber thing to give in. Now, please understand what I'm about to say. It's a horrible way to die, but actually, if you're going to die, I think it's better to just go all at once. I mean, the nightmare for me was if these people were like trapped on the bottom, watching your air supply suddenly, slowly fade. At least in this case, it's over in a very, very, very quickly. So don't mean to be morbid about that, but that's the reality. But you're speaking of morbid. One of the things that's been going on this week. There is a video game called Iron Lung. Iron Lung, the video game, is what you do is you are the captain of a submersible who then has to navigate your way through this alien environment. You're piloting a one-man submarine where you have to pilot through an ocean of blood with an incomplete map and try to figure out where you are before the sub collapses or you're discovered by creatures lurking in the deep. So while all of us... Cheers to you. Well, see, that's what I love about being Summerfest. People, I can't drink the beer yet, but these guys are drinking beer. Okay, so while you are navigating this, all right, so while these people, we don't know whether they're dead or alive, you're trying to find this submersible, the sales of this video game where you portray a guy in a sub in a narrow one-person sub, trying to navigate through an ocean of blood before the sub collapses, video game sales went through the roof. What does it say about us that, we've got these 5 people that might be dead. Here, let's go buy a video game where we can portray what it's like to be in a submersible submarine. I don't know what to say. When we come back, this is what we're going to do about shoplifting, and this is what the government says about it. It's an interesting story. Don't go anywhere. This is Jeff Wagner broadcasting live from Summerfest.
Stick around. Jeff Wagner is right around the corner.
Your first night camping alone. The new tent, fully set up. Your bug spray, barely keeping up. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free overdraft protection transfers. So when you bought all those supplies and lost track of your spending, we had you covered. You got this with free overdraft protection transfers from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here. A couple years ago, my knee was acting up. As an athlete, I've played through pain before, but it was getting to the point where I couldn't compete in the sports I loved. I decided to check out Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. It's the best decision I've made. I felt no pressure to have surgery. That was important to me. We had choices. I ultimately did choose to have a procedure. I was in and out in just hours and back in action shortly after. I recommend meeting their doctors. Visit orthowisconsin.com today.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
The wait is over. Summerfest is here. Come see WTMJ broadcast live during Summerfest inside the Pella Windows and Doors mobile studio in the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone. Celebrate Summerfest with us. News Radio WTMJ Milwaukee.
Good afternoon, 101. We have 76 degrees, sunshine, warm today with a high 83 lakeside, 87 inland. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. A hit and run, a police chase, and multi-vehicle crash on Milwaukee's northwest side overnight. Police say it started when a 24-year-old woman hit a pedestrian near 36th and Florist, ran from the scene, eventually crashing into another vehicle near 35th and Silver Spring. She had 5 kids in the car with her. One of them, a 6-year-old, slightly hurt. He's being treated at the hospital. The pedestrian, a 42-year-old man, is in serious condition. Investigators searching for any insight into how that catastrophic implosion killed all 5 passengers aboard the Titan submersible. Officials have yet to conclusively determine whether the devastating implosion happened at the moment when the submersible stopped communicating about an hour and 45 minutes into its dive. The Coast Guard confirmed yesterday a debris field had been found at the seafloor not far from the wreckage of the Titanic, where the deep-sea vessel was headed to explore. That tragedy shining a light on the hundreds of rescues the U.S. Coast Guard conducts on the Great Lakes every year.
The U.S. Coast Guard Lake Michigan sector responds to around 800 search and rescue missions each year.
Bradley Derflinger with the U.S. Coast Guard's Lake Michigan sector.
I've had days where we've had like 29 lives assisted.
Bradley says several factors can complicate rescue missions, from weather conditions and strong currents to darkness at night. That's why he says it's imperative for boaters to have life jackets for everyone on board.
Your survivability goes way up. And the second thing that you can do is have reliable communications.
An important message as summer brings the most people to the massive lake.
2 Chinese nationals arrested on charges related to the manufacture and distribution of fentanyl in the U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland said the DOJ will continue to target the fentanyl supply chain from start to finish.
The actions we are announcing today should make clear that the U.S. Justice Department is accelerating our efforts to disrupt the manufacture and trafficking of fentanyl at every stage and in every part of the world.
President Biden and Prime Minister Modi of the Republic of India meeting with senior officials and CEOs of American and Indian companies today to discuss innovation, investment, and manufacturing in various technology sectors. Here's President Biden at the get-together.
Our countries are taking innovation and cooperation to a new level.
1 for us, 2 for them for Summerfest Vice President of Entertainment Scott Zeal. Striking the right balance between up-and-coming bands and tried-and-true performers is one of the most challenging and rewarding parts of the job.
We're listening to the community. We're listening to everybody about the artists that they're most excited about, and those are the ones that we go and sign for Summerfest.
Zeal telling WTMJ by the time the current festival gets going, his team is focused on booking bands for the next year and even the year after. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 104.
The year is almost half over and you are still dealing with that knee or hip pain, right? Enough is enough. Pills are not the answer and neither is surgery. You need to call QC Kinetics. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. The advanced regenerative medicine solutions at QC Kinetics can give you a life without chronic joint pain. You can do all those summer activities you used to enjoy. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in taking healing properties from your own body and applying them right to your achy joint so your joint tissue can be repaired and restored naturally. The treatment is revolutionary, and it's right here in Milwaukee. Patients across America are having life-changing results, and there's no drugs or surgery or downtime. If you have pain in your knees, back, shoulders, hips, you got to stop what you're doing and call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. Learn how the latest advances in regenerative medicine can give you your life back. Call 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474.
Lane's Farm and Fleet's 4th of July sale is going on now. We're saluting the red, white, and blue with unbeatable deals on everything you need to celebrate outdoors. Like 1-pound bags of Blaine's brand trail mix, 2 for $8. Get $50 off a Milwaukee M18 Fuel 2-tool combo kit. Relax indoors with select Perfect Air window air conditioners, $149.99. Rewards members save an extra $5. And Jolly Pets dog toys, 25% off.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, West Bend Mutual Insurance and J&B Construction. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. At 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Sports update.
The Brewers and Guardians in Cleveland tonight to kick off a 3-game weekend series. Wade Miley and Shane Bieber is the pitching matchup tonight, where radio coverage begins at 5:35 with the pregame show here on 620 WTMJ. The Milwaukee Bucks were active in the second round of the NBA draft last night, snagging 2 players from high-end programs. UConn's Andre Jackson Jr. was the pick after a trade with Orlando. Then Chris Livingston of Kentucky went with the final pick of the night to Milwaukee. The Bucks also signed Gonzaga veteran Drew Timme to a free agent contract after the draft. And names of note with ties to the state: Greenfield native Brandon Podziemski went in the first round to Golden State. Marquette standout Olivier Maxence Prosper was also a first-rounder pick of Dallas. And Joey Hauser from Stevens Point signed a 2-way contract with the Utah Jazz. Bob Brainerd, WTMJ Sports.
Take a look at your roads now with your Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Still a couple of slow spots. I-94 eastbound from the Zoo interchange into downtown. That's usually about a 6-minute drive. It's taking you about 15 minutes still. The other big slow spot, I-43 southbound from Brown Deer Road to downtown. That's about a 21-minute drive right now, usually about 11. I-43 northbound from downtown to Brown Deer Road, back to normal, running about 12 minutes this afternoon.
I'm Brett Matchke, and you're due for service.
Richlawns Tire and Service Centers. 5 locations and all easy to find. Visit richlawns.com when you're due for service.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast: sunshine, warm temperatures today with a high of 87 inland, mostly clear tonight, low 62. Sunny, warmer, more humid tomorrow, 84 to 90 are the highs. Chance of showers and thunderstorms Sunday and Monday. Sunday 78, Monday 73, Tuesday sunshine with a high 72. Right now in Madison, 81, Green Bay 80, 75 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber, Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 108.
From the Pella Windows and Doors mobile studio at the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone, it's the Jeff Wagner Show, live from Summerfest. Now, here's Jeff Wagner.
Good afternoon, Wisconsin. Welcome back. Like the big voice guy says, we are down at the lakefront, Summerfest. I've got my engineer, John. We've got Emma, who's keeping us up on the live stream. By the way, if you haven't been following this, you can now watch us as we do spoken word radio. Simply go to our YouTube channel, put in WTMJ, and you can see us. And I'm always amazed at how many people do that. Lots of people watch the show on a daily basis. I appreciate that. You can also go to WTMJ.com, click on the Watch Live button, and you can see this. We've also got a camera that's looking out at the people who walk past us as well. Also, I would be remiss if I did not mention our podcast page. We podcast all the shows, so if you missed a day or you missed an hour of the show, you can go back and listen to that, and I appreciate that very, very much. And of course, we've got Samantha back in the studio keeping everything running. She's the one that keeps the trains on the track, and I appreciate that as well. Okay, if you are a regular listener to this program, you know that one of the things that I get on my soapbox about from time to time is retail theft. That is shoplifting, or as they call it in the industry, shrinkage, which means people come in and steal stuff. And the effect of what has been going on of shoplifting. Shoplifting has never been worse. You talk to cops, you talk to retailers. Why is it? Well, there's a lot of factors. There are professional shoplifting rings that go out and loot stores. But I think the biggest reason you see shoplifting increasing is because people know they can do it and they can get away with it. Remember, we had the story about a week or two ago where you had the young men in the hoodies and the masks who run into the Lululemon. Lululemon is, of course, a sort of a high-end clothing store. And they just start stealing stuff, grabbing as much stuff as they possibly can. They bum rush the store. They're heading out. You get a couple of the store clerks, some middle-aged women, who start yelling at them, "Stop this! Get out of here!" And what happens? The ladies get fired because the policy is don't confront the retailers. Well, the message is, I guess, that you're sending, hey, if you go into a Lululemon store in Atlanta, just take as much stuff as you want because nobody's going to stop you. So you have all this stuff that's going on. I pulled up a story on Fox Business. The National Retail Federation estimates retailers last year lost $100 billion due to theft. $100 billion due to people stealing stuff. Now, what happens when you have that kind of theft? Well, two things. First of all, stores in some areas close, like the Walmart on 103rd and Silver Spring around here. They just, they closed because they were getting robbed blind, and so they just decided, all right, we're not going to deal with this. Secondly, all of us pay for the theft because, what do you mean, Jeff? Why do we pay for it? We didn't steal stuff. No, you pay for it in higher costs. Retailers pass that on, just like good drivers pay for bad drivers in certain areas with higher insurance rates. All consumers pay higher prices to make up for the theft. And the number is going up dramatically. 2021, $94 billion. 2020, it was $91 billion. And what they're saying is that people are getting more comfortable because stores say don't chase after them. They're trained not to go after them. So it's essentially, we are giving people all across the country a license to steal. So one of the things that you can do if you're a retailer to stop or deter shoplifting is to be proactive. Rather than waiting till the guy or gal gets in the store, grabs the handful of merchandise, and is racing out the door, maybe what you need to do is stop them from getting that far. Well, okay, Jeff, sounds good. How do you stop them from getting this far? In New York, what they have been doing, and let me just kind of back up for just a second. Remember, there was a time when I was a kid, don't know that they do this anymore, but there was a time you would walk into like a liquor store, and they would have up on the wall, they would have all the people, the bad checks that had been written. Now, I don't know if I understand people with credit cards and stuff, but everybody that bounced a check to the liquor store, their check would be up on this like cork board that would be in the liquor store thing. Number one, it would be a way of public shaming. Number two, it would be a way of indicating to the clerk, for example, that hey, Jeff came in, bounced a check 3 weeks ago. Here, we're not going to take another check from this guy. But you had that. The modern version of this, of kind of like the bad check, it's facial recognition. And one of the things that a number of stores in New York have been doing is you catch somebody on video shoplifting, okay? They're out the door, you can't prosecute them, they're gone, they're in the wind, but you've got the picture of them. What these stores have been doing is they have been taking the pictures, the facial recognition images of the people who were stealing stuff, and they sent it out to other stores. So other stores, hey, I run a store, and then a block down the way, hey, just so you know, this guy or gal or whatever walked in, this is a picture of him, they stole me blind. So this alerts that second retailer to be on the lookout. You've got these pictures that are there, and you see somebody who looks suspiciously or amazingly like the person who ripped off, your neighboring store a week ago. You see them walk into the store. So what does it do? Well, it doesn't automatically say you're going to throw them out, but it alerts you that somebody who may be prone to shoplifting has now walked into the store. So maybe what you do is you follow them around the store, you give them added scrutiny. Maybe if you got a security guard, you have the security guard watch them, etc. It's a way of identifying and telling these different retailers that, hey, there might be a thief that has just walked into your store, instead of waiting for the same guy that ripped off your neighboring store a week ago to come in and do it again. All right. Now, you might think, oh, that's kind of an interesting thing. It's not a perfect solution, but at least it's something. We're doing something so these retailers can stop the thieves. Well, I have in my hands a story from Fox News. Here is the latest thing. In New York, the city council is about ready to outlaw that procedure. In other words, to make it a fine of up to $5,000 plus legal fees should a retailer use facial recognition technology to identify somebody who might be a shoplifter. Yes, you heard me right. The law would make it illegal for the retailer to use this technology to say, hey, that person who's just walked into my store looks suspiciously like the person who ripped off the store down the street 3 days ago. In other words, the retailer could not use this. Our number is 855-616-1620. That is the Old National Bank talk and text line. I swear the world has gone mad. And this is the latest example of that. 855-616-1620. We discuss in a moment.
More Jeff Wagner right after this. Every hour.
Breaking news this morning, an apartment fire in West Allis. Crews on the scene right now.
Every day.
Hunter Biden, son of President Joe Biden, has agreed to a deal with the Justice Department, which involves him pleading guilty to federal tax charges.
The news doesn't stop, and neither do we.
Shared revenue plan is now law in Wisconsin. Governor Evers signing the measure during a ceremony in Wausau.
This compromise is a big deal for our kids, our families, and our communities across our state.
News Radio WTMJ.
Jeff Wagner here to tell you about Built Right furniture, leather, and mattresses. If you are looking for affordable, better quality furniture or mattresses, you really need to do what a couple of my family members did recently. They went to Built Right. When you get to the store, you're going to find a 45,000 square foot showroom with thousands of furniture items in stock plus 500 mattresses. This includes a huge selection of USA and Amish-made furniture plus better quality imported furniture for any size home. Also, be sure to check out Built Right's over 48 models of in-stock power lift recliners. Special and custom orders, well, they're much faster in 2023. Free in-store design services available too. And now's a great time to get to Built Right as their USA-made sale store-wide is on now. Built Right, voted best place to shop and winner of the Home Furnishings Association's 2023 National Retailer of the Year Award. Open Monday through Saturday. They open at 10, they close at 6. Sunday they're closed to be with family. When you get there, do me a favor, do yourself a favor too, because they'd love to hear this. Tell them WTMJ's Jeff Wagner sent you to locally and family-owned Built Right, 5430 West Layton Avenue in Greenfield.
Hey, boaters!
It's a boater's do-it-yourselfer's dream store. Kendor Marine stocks thousands of boat parts and supplies. Just about everything you'd ever need to keep your boat up and running. Whether it's common or something you think might be discontinued, you can bet on us having it. So don't be surprised when we have just what you need. I'm Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Hey, boaters!
Some call them oddball parts, but we call them a huge part of our inventory. Dave Doro here from Kendor Marine. With thousands of boat parts and supplies stocked right here in our store, you won't have to look elsewhere. If you need it, chances are we got it, along with expert advice to get your job done right. Hey, boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Jeff Wagner on WTMJ.
855-616-1620. One of our texters says, Jeff, I think there's a more effective way of doing this. Sam's Club used to check your receipt on your way out of the store. I think Costco still does that. But that doesn't solve the problem of the people that grab and run. I mean, that doesn't stop the problem at the Lululemon, for example, where you have the people come in, grab as much stuff as they have. You can have somebody checking all the receipts you want. They don't have receipts. They've grabbed all the crap. They're heading out the door. This at least gives you a way of identifying, in some cases, some of the people who have ripped off your neighboring stores. So maybe what you can do is you can shadow them, you can be more aggressive, whatever. Maybe you can make the decision to say, no, you're not welcome in here. We're going to bar you from coming into the store. And as long as you do it based on some, people say, well, you can't discriminate. Well, yeah, you can discriminate. People discriminate all the time. You like strawberry ice cream better than you like vanilla ice cream. You're discriminating against vanilla. The point is you can discriminate for any reason or no reason as long as it's not an illegal reason. And the idea that, hey, this person looks like somebody that we think ripped off the store down the street, no, we're not going to take that chance. We're not going to let them in. 855-616-1620. But, of course, in New York, they're getting ready to shut that down. They're getting ready to fine the retailers. Fine the retailers if they use facial recognition technology. Let's start with John in Mequon. John, you're on WTMJ. Hello. John?
Store in the city of Milwaukee. Hello.
Hi. I'm sorry. Start again. We got you now. Go ahead.
I oversee 4 stores, and we have a store in the city of Milwaukee. And due to the issues with Milwaukee and crime, the police are not able to respond to shoplifting in a timely manner. We are looking to install facial recognition. It's at a level, I mean, think of everybody's iPhone, right? How do you open your iPhone? It's at a level that it's there's no mistakes with it. And we're going to use it so that our security would get a text after we program somebody that's either a known shoplifter, and as you said, they don't walk around the store, grab something, and slowly walk out. It's grab it and go. So we'll program facial recognition of that person or those that have attempted, so that our security up front knows they're in the building, and then we can either ask them to leave or stay with them as they're in the store. If I were in New York as a retailer, I would certainly find like-minded retailers and start a class action lawsuit against the city because they're not able to provide safety or security or support for our security. It's challenging as a retailer.
Well, John, what you're talking about just makes common sense to me. You know, you've got, and let's not even talk about you sharing your information with other retailers. You know, you've got known shoplifters that have hit your stores. It's crazy not to provide that information to other stores. And if you've got the technology that lets you identify when one of those known shoplifters comes back into one of your stores, why wouldn't you do this if you've got the capability? Otherwise, it's just here. I'm a victim. I'm a duck. Come pluck me, for goodness sakes.
Right. And we saw the Walmart in Milwaukee go out of business. Primary reason was shoplifting and not the ability to control it. We don't want to find ourselves in that same position. We've been in business for many, many years, and we have to be proactive in this one location.
Right. Hey, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. I mean, can you imagine if, in this case, can you imagine if Ozaukee County or the city of Mequon were to say, nope, we're not, John, we're not going to let you do that. Thanks for the call. I mean, it's just, why would you, it's just something that makes obvious sense. Here, let's at least, now, I mean, I understand there's a risk that retailers are going to take. Is there a chance that they could, somebody who, my body double walks in there and is a shoplifter, and then I go back in the store a couple weeks later, is there a chance that somebody can be misidentified? Oh, okay, I understand that there's a chance, but the likelihood of that happening, I doubt it. Jim in Muskego. Jim, you're on WTMJ. Good afternoon.
Hey, Jeff. Thanks for taking the call.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I told your screener, I work in Kenosha. I stop at the Pick and Save. So I go in, and I'm at the liquor department, and there's a kid he's in an orange, like, safety jacket, and looks like he's working, and he's filling a cart with liquor. And I'm like, okay, I go to check out. I check out. I'm going towards the exit. And an employee is chasing the kid out the door with the shopping cart full of booze with a case of beer covering it. And another kid was in an orange safety jacket by the shopping carts, like watching the parking lot.
Right.
And I go out to my car, and they were parked right in front of me. A good thing I didn't, say, yeah, I could have been.
Oh, yeah, and you never know. Yeah, no, Jim, thanks for calling. No, this is the type of stuff that goes on all along. The shoplifting, they're brazen. Now, the only thing that's different about the story you're telling me is at many, many retailers nowadays, the instructions are don't confront them. The idea is we don't want customers getting hurt. We don't want our employees getting hurt. You know, who knows? You know, one of these shoplifters might have a gun or something like that. But the effect of that policy which has probably been created by some of the lawyers and maybe from some jury decisions. The effect of that policy is to just essentially greenlight shoplifting and $100 billion. I mean, how can retailers expect to stay in business when you're losing this kind of money? And people complain, well, this store closed down. Walmart closed down a bunch of stores, at least a handful of stores in the Chicago area, and there was editorials day after day after day or comments from politicians who were outraged that Walmart would close down these stores. Well, Walmart closed down the stores because they were getting stolen blind. For everybody who was upset that Walmart on 103rd and Silver Spring, every politician who was upset that store closed down, well, you should be asking yourself, why did that happen? And what have the politicians done in failing to protect the stores and the taxpayers from shoplifters? If you've got facial recognition, I say go with God. I think it is a great idea to at least alert retailers, share that information that, hey, that person that's coming in the store, well, last week he might have ripped off the neighboring store, so you better watch out for him or her. Back with more in just a minute. This is Jeff Wagner, WTMJ.
Don't go anywhere. Jeff Wagner is back right after this.
Hey, Greg, give me another broad.
John, be nice. We're representing WTMJ at Summerfest.
Sandy, I've been playing bags in the Gruber Law Office's Sport Zone for hours. I need fuel before we head to the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin Mobile Studios. I should probably take this. Hello, this is John.
What? We're doing this interview.
Oh, shoot. We'll be right there.
All right, John. Here's that broad.
No time. Greg, we got to get going.
You're welcome.
Hear Wisconsin's afternoon news live at Summerfest on WTMJ.
Hey, former radio wake-up guy Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. If that recent cold snap made you think that now is the time to replace those drafty old windows, then now is a good time to call Hometown Windows and Doors. Save heating costs now, cooling dollars down the road with energy-efficient replacement windows and doors from Hometown. Hometown offers the brands you trust like Anderson, Pella, Marvin, Softlight, and more in wood, vinyl, and fiberglass. And all of their products are installed by employee carpenters. Plus, Hometown is the area's only Pella Platinum and Marvin authorized replacement company. Hometown's dedicated consultants can guide you to the best fit and value for your home and your remodeling dollar. Stop in at their newly remodeled showroom in New Berlin and see the Hometown difference for yourself. Or call them for a no-pressure in-home consultation, 414-329-1200, or visit them at hometownwindows.com. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need.
In Wisconsin, making memories together is for everyone, whatever your ability. So here's to soaking up surf culture right here on Wisconsin's fresh coast. To making time for stargazing as a family. And to imaginations clear for takeoff. Here's to festies with besties. And singing along to your favorite song. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Start your summer getaway at travelwisconsin.com.
Wealth-changing question. Is your advisor giving you incomplete advice? Besides investing, there's also taxes, insurance, estate planning, and other elements that can be stressful to organize. At Creative Planning, we provide all the expertise, all the advice you need, all in-house, ensuring every aspect of your wealth works harder together so you can enjoy your wealth instead of worrying about it. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Welcome back to Jeff Wagner on WTMJ.
That, of course, is the Zac Brown Band, one of my very favorite bands. If you've never seen Zac Brown in person, well, do yourself a favor. They put on an incredible show, and they are the headline performers this evening at the American Family Amphitheater. You can also join WTMJ's Sandy Max. Matter of fact, she's going to be down here in a little bit, and the American Red Cross for our WTMJ Cares event, the Milwaukee County Zoo Blood Drive. Donate blood during this 3-day drive. It starts next Monday, June 26th, and runs through Wednesday the 28th. My lovely wife is going out there Monday morning. She's going to be donating blood. This all helps boost the supply of necessary blood during the shortage. Plus, if you register for the event, receive free zoo admission and tickets to Summerfest. The Summerfest tickets are available while supplies last. For more information and to sign up, text the word BLOOD, B-L-O-O-D, to 855-616-1620. It's WTMJ Cares with our very own Sandy Max, all with the help of our friends at Gruber Law Offices. WTMJ Breaking News Time is 1:30 p.m. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, here's Connie Weber.
Thanks, Jeff. The Supreme Court has yet to hand down rulings on cases involving affirmative action and President Biden's student loan relief plan. The court reviewing 2 cases to determine if colleges are able to use race in admission decisions. Court's also looking at a pair of cases that'll decide if the president can move forward with his plan to cancel some student loan debt. Republican presidential candidate Chris Christie slamming former President Trump over his character. At the Faith and Freedom Coalition in Washington, D.C., Christie was booed by the crowd for criticizing Trump. He said the former president's unwilling to take responsibility for his mistakes and faults, calling it a failure of leadership. Couple in Lafayette County in southwest Wisconsin facing dozens of charges in connection to the deaths of more than 200 goats on their property. The Lafayette County Sheriff's Office says Kyle and Stephanie Lincecum had no hay or feed on the farm when they were called to the property earlier this month. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The markets are still down. The Dow is down 184 right now, S&P down 25. The NASDAQ Composite is down 96. Get on track with investment and retirement planning. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button today. Taking a look at your roads now with your Johnson & Sons paving time saver. Traffic still slow going I-94 eastbound from the Zoo interchange into downtown. That's about an 11-minute drive right now. Usually take you about half that. I-43 southbound from Brown Deer Road to downtown. That's about a 22-minute drive again. That's about double the time it normally takes for that 11-mile stretch.
Traffic is sponsored by Trees on the Move. From planning to planting, it's Trees on the Move. We all look forward to outdoor living in Wisconsin. From planning to planting and everything in between, now is the perfect time to let Trees on the Move beautify your landscape.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast, hazy sunshine today. It'll be warm with highs 83 to 87. Clear tonight, low 62. Sunny, warmer, more humid tomorrow, high 90 inland. Chance for showers and thunderstorms Sunday and Monday. Sunday's high 78, Monday 73. Tuesday, mostly sunny with a high of 72. Right now in Milwaukee, we're at 75 degrees. I'm Connie Weber, Sighting Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 1:32.
I'm Jeff Wagner. Here's a text. Jeff, my wife and I were at Myers. We watched a dad with 2 kids get a box of fried chicken from the deli. In the store, they ate all the chicken, threw the chicken bones in the shopping cart, and then left the store without ever paying. That's brazen. Yes, it is. When we come back, I need you to be honest. Stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Jeff Wagner is back right after this.
Hey, WTMJ's John Burke here. I love the Fox and Hounds restaurant. Absolutely incredible, and was recently voted the best supper club in the area. It first opened in 1933 and has been serving fabulous dinners for almost 90 years in their gorgeous rustic timber building. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free 7 days a week, even Friday and Saturday. Every Wednesday, when you buy one world-class prime rib dinner, your second prime rib dinner is free. Order anything on the menu, you got it. Your second dinner's free. Made from scratch desserts to incredible ice cream drinks. Add a Manhattan, an old-fashioned, or over 100 wines to accent your dinner. The Fox and Hounds is family-owned and one of the most unique and affordable supper clubs in Wisconsin, and your second dinner is always free. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east in the shadows of the beautiful Holy Hill Shrine. The summer drive is spectacular, a must-see. Enjoy a free prime rib dinner tonight or any entree. Tables are still open. Reserve at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
You can give them the same old, or you can surprise them with something unique from St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Store at a bargain. Almost new, but really cool. The thing about thrift store gift shopping is that you never know what you'll find. But when you find it, you'll know it's right. That's what makes it fun. And if you just can't choose, gift cards are always available at St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield and 23rd in Lincoln in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here. You ever ask yourself the question, what do I want to be known for? Do you know the answer? Are you in the right place to realize those aspirations? If not, LAK's Career Fit program can get you there. They'll work with you to create a roadmap to get you on a trajectory toward career fulfillment and renewed meaning in life, so you can truly discover what you were meant to do. Find out more about Career Fit. Visit transformingcareers.com. LAK Group, discover your human advantage.
This is Jeff Wagner on WTMJ.
Once again, we are broadcasting live from the second day of Summerfest. Great weather day. Lots of people down here. This is, as we talked to Don Smiley yesterday at the start of the show, this is going to be, I think, a pretty good indicator of, how much people stopping by, got our 620 WTMJ shirts. Absolutely love it. Taking a selfie here. That's what we're all about. This is going to be, I think, a pretty good indicator of whether or not the 3-day Thursday, Friday, Saturday format that they've been using it works well or not. As we've talked about before, historically, Summerfest started on a Wednesday, they went to Sunday, they took Monday off, and then they came back and went Tuesday through Sunday. They're now doing Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, so it's 3 days, it's 9 days instead of 11 days. In addition, it's 3 weekends, so on the one hand, you don't have the momentum. At the same time, though, it gives them an opportunity to, I think they feel, book better quality bands over the weekends, and they think that, it's true. People are more likely to want to go out on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And as Don Smiley was saying yesterday, people say, well, I miss not being, I love to come down on Tuesday because there weren't a lot of people there, which, Don Smiley would say, well, that's exactly our point. There weren't a lot of people there. So the first year they did it in September because that was right coming out of COVID. That wasn't a good indicator. Last year, I think we were still dealing with the pandemic. This year, wonderful weather and some great lineups. So I think this is going to be a good indicator of the experience. I keep watching. So far, no criminal charges issued against the 15-year-old boy that they believe was responsible for shooting 6 people at that Juneteenth Day festival. I mean, just think about that. You had a 15-year-old. Now, I assume that even in Chisholm World, the Milwaukee County DA's office, I assume that even in Chisholm World, there will be, felony adult charges that are coming out. And it's going to be interesting to find out, if you ever can find out, what the kid's criminal record was and whether he had been in the criminal justice system before. It seems to me it almost has to be, because I don't think you just wake up one day and say, hey, I'm 15 years old. I'm going to the Juneteenth Festival. I'm going to stick a loaded gun in the waistband of my pants and go shoot a whole bunch of people. My guess is there were things leading up to this and probably other criminal contacts, but time will tell. Okay, I want to lighten it up a little bit. I want you to be honest. I want you to be perfectly honest and give me your honest reaction to this question. There is a story, Fox News has it, the New York Post has it as well. Aaron Rodgers, former Packers quarterback, he's now a New York Jet. The report is that the New York Jets and their offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett, who used to be the offensive coordinator in Green Bay, they are prepared to essentially turn their offense over to Aaron Rodgers. And the phrase they're using is that he will be given a considerable amount of freedom when it comes to the team's offense. In other words, now you can read between the lines on this, but in other words, the Jets are going to essentially say, we're going to let Aaron do whatever Aaron wants. If Aaron wants to pass, we'll let him pass. If he wants to run, we are going to essentially, and back in the old days, that's how it used to be. You didn't have an offensive coordinator calling plays. Back in the 60s and early 70s, the quarterbacks would call the plays. They would be the ones that would design these things. Maybe the coaches would have some input. But it appears that because they want to make Aaron Rodgers happy, they are now going to give him something that he didn't have in Green Bay, pretty much like total control or almost total control to do whatever he wants with the team. Okay, so here's my question. And again, we've got the football season coming up. We're here. It's late June, so training camp starts in early August, and then right after Labor Day, you get the first games and stuff like this. I want you to be honest. Aaron Rodgers no longer a Packer. Do you hope he leads the Jets to the playoff or the Super Bowl? Do you hope he is successful in New York? Or honestly, being honest, Do you think he's a prima donna, and are you hoping that he falls flat on his face? 855-616-1620. That's the Old National Bank talk and text line. My on-site video coordinator, Emma, she just gave me the thumbs up on that latter one. Okay, but do you agree with Emma? Do you hope he falls flat on his face, or, hey, you know, the Packer thing just didn't work out. He was great here for 19 years. I hope he goes out in a blaze of glory. Well, now they're essentially saying you can run the offense. 855-616-1620. Are you going to be pulling for him to succeed, or do you just want to see an epic fail? 855-616-1620. I will give you my honest reaction and take yours in just a moment. This is Jeff Wagner, WTMJ.
Don't go anywhere. Jeff Wagner is back right after this.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. I always thought Vince Lombardi came up with that famous sports nugget, but it turns out he borrowed it from a college coach. And now I'm going to borrow it too. Because when there are 10 or 20 offers on a property, there's only one winner. In today's inventory-starved real estate market, you need a Lombardi-level mortgage coach. One who has all the best plays in the playbook. Going with your bank for your pre-approval is like playing in a professional playoff game with the JV coach at the helm. The Lombardi-level coaches at AccuNet are called senior loan consultants, and each one has been trained by me to help you and your real estate agent work as one team to deliver the one and only thing that matters, winning. So if you've been losing with your flimsy bank pre-approval, trade up today to a rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval and a Lombardi-level game plan. And if you're just getting started, why not start with the best? Click on the blue button today and get started with your winning game plan at accunet.com.
When I came up with this half-combumbled idea of opening a furniture store in Milwaukee, I still think you're crazy, but well.
Ben and Arvid Huth, brothers and owners of Penny Mustard Furnishings.
Our parents were hesitantly positive for us, but that's just who they were. But my college professors, I was quitting college to start this, and they were, oh, absolutely, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. I had a girlfriend told me not to do it. We were originally going to have a partner.
He backed out.
He backed out. Actually, two partners backed out.
Yeah.
And actually, it was good that everybody else backed out.
Yeah.
Because it worked better this way.
But I guess we kind of looked at it as what's the worst that could happen? And honestly, what's the worst that could happen?
Yes.
We'd have been in debt and we'd owed a lot of money back.
Yes.
So we'd just had to work that off somewhere and then...
And it wouldn't have been that much money.
No.
We didn't have that much money and nobody borrowed us any, so...
Well, that's true. And at 19, you got the time to make some mistakes at that age, you know?
Yes.
So what if I had to work 3 years to pay off all that debt before I made any money again for myself and then go forward from there again, you know?
Okay.
PennyMustard.com.
Ready to downsize and move from your longtime home? Call Bruce's team today. Their senior real estate specialists will guide you every step of the way. Go from overwhelmed to I can do this. 262-242-6177. Bruce'sTeam.com.
From big tailgate parties to cozy dinners for two, the freshest ideas start with a stop at Century Foods.
Now through Wednesday, save on 5 to 8 ounce package selected varieties, Sargento Deli style sliced cheese, 2 for $6. 2-liter bottle selected varieties, Super Chill soft drinks, 99 cents. 24 to 70 count package selected varieties, Chinette classic white plates or bowls, $6.99. 10 to 10.8 ounce package selected varieties, Bird's Eye vegetables, 4 for $5.
Hey, why'd you throw my glass across the room?
I have to keep practicing.
The vase from Aunt Sophie?
I'm warming up in case I get to take them out at American Family Field. Read this.
Win the ultimate baseball fan experience at Century Foods?
You either get to throw out the first pitch, hold the finish line for the famous racing sausages, or be on the field during batting practice. My new TV!
Just doing a little batting practice of my own.
The ultimate baseball fan experience from Century Foods. Return the entry form found in the weekly ad to any Century by July 26th.
This is Jeff Wagner on WTMJ.
This is the Avett Brothers. They are performing this evening. We are down here at Summerfest. The show is the shows are just absolutely great, and the lineup is great. They're at the BMO Pavilion, the Miller Lite Pavilion that I'm looking at right now to my right. So come down and check it out. Okay, I want you to be honest about this. The latest news is the New York Jets, in an effort to make Aaron Rodgers happy, they've signed pretty much anybody he's wanted. Aging Packers, there's like 4 or 5 or 6, former Packers that are now on the Jets. That's okay. And the new offensive coordinators pretty much come out and said, we're going to let Aaron run the offense. In other words, he knows the offense. He's going to be given considerable freedom when it comes to the team's offense. In other words, we're not going to have these pesky coaches that are telling him what plays to call. So that's a wonderful thing. Here's my question, though. Apart from that, he's in New York. It really doesn't affect the Packers one way or the other as a practical matter. So do you hope Rodgers goes and does just absolutely tremendous, leads the Jets to the playoff, leads the Jets to the Super Bowl, or do you want to see him fall flat on his face? 855-616-1620. Number of people are saying that they agree with Emma here, and that, well, here's one. I hope he plays as poorly as possible, but is still able to play 65% of the snaps so the Packers get the better draft pick. All right, 855-616-1620. Matt in Wauwatosa. Matt, you're first. Good afternoon.
Hey, Jeff, long-time listener, called in a couple times. Love your show.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're doing well. I'm a Vikings fan. I went to school in University of Minnesota, but I grew up here in Milwaukee, in Wauwatosa. I hope he falls flat on his face. He's gotten everything that he's wanted, a spoiled child. He's making, $51 million a year now? Yeah. And they're giving him more leeway? And he's just treated the Wisconsin fans like garbage, and so I hope he falls flat.
Thanks for the call, Matt. And that, of course, is from the perspective of somebody who says that they're a Vikings fan. Jeff, this is awesome. Aaron Rodgers thinks he's Tom Brady. Now, I'm not a Brady fan, but I'm pretty sure we're going to find out that Aaron Rodgers is not. The Jets are not as talented as any of Brady's offenses were, and Aaron Rodgers is not as smart or as talented as Tom Brady. I don't know. I don't know about that. One of our texters says, why be mean about this? Well, that is what my question is. But I need people to be honest about this. Given all the circumstances and everything that Rodgers did when he was with the Packers, you can appreciate that. But I sincerely want to know, are you going to be rooting for him? Given the fact that it's probably, if you're a Packers fan or if you're a Vikings fan, it's really, I don't think they play the Jets, so it's not going to have any sort of direct impact. Sometimes when people leave, you cheer for them. Other times you don't. How are you going to react? Let's talk to Wally in Oconomowoc. Wally, you're on WTMJ.
Hey, Jeff, good to hear you again. You're doing a great job for WTMJ. I think I've got the right answer for you. I hope he does extremely well. I think the coaches should leave their hands off of him. He's a brilliant quarterback. 2 MVPs without any supporting cast in the last 3 years. Aaron knows what to do. He knows how to call the plays. He's got a feeling for the plays, and he is really look at what he's done. We should have surrounded him with some talent. Mm-hmm. I'll say one thing. If you had Rush Limbaugh, would you try to tell him how to conduct his talk show, Jeff?
Well, thanks for the call, Wally. If years ago, would I tell Rush Limbaugh how to control his talk show? No, but I don't think Rush would tell me how to do my talk show either, because we do different sorts of talk shows. But I get it. See, I guess here's the point. I mean, time will tell whether or not, and I understand what you're saying when you say the Packers, had years where they didn't, maybe they should have surrounded it with more talent. At the same time, I think it's also fair to say that Aaron Rodgers, for all the success he had, kind of disappeared in some of the big games. If you look at some of his worst games, those were some of the biggest games. But that doesn't, I guess that's not the overriding factor. It's that he was very, very controversial, especially the last several years. And I want a gut check of this. And that gut check is, are you going to be rooting for him or not? 855-616-1620. John from Illinois. John, you're on WTMJ.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, John.
One thing, the previous caller is saying that he had no talent around him. It's kind of ironic that we say that, yet look at all the guys that he brought with him to the Jets.
Yeah.
It's intriguing in here the way Rodgers has been viewed. You go back in the media following the whole vaccine issue and everything. They just pummeled him to death. And once he was traded to New York, all of a sudden now they're all over him, and it's a different story.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, I would argue, is the most talented, gifted quarterback to ever play the position. He was tremendous as a Packer, certainly thankful for that. And with the Jets, they're not playing the Packers. I hope he does well.
Good enough. Thanks for the call, John. I mean, and look, it's just I don't think there's any right or wrong answer to this. It's just kind of the reality of it. I do think, and people can draw whatever conclusions they want. It was always interesting to me the last couple of years in Green Bay, and look, you can't judge a book by the cover. I get it, but the appearance does, the way you present yourself to the outside world does send messages. And I always thought it was interesting that, for the last couple of years, Aaron Rodgers pretty much looked like a cross between Keanu Reeves as John Wick and maybe Grizzly Adams, like the long slicked hair, all this stuff. And then as soon as he gets traded to New York, mysteriously, we go with the GQ thing. You go with the trimmed beard, and we go with a nice haircut, and all because I think when you get to New York, it's like I suspect the agent said, Aaron, this idea of going into this seclusion booth and stuff, you've got the potential, especially if you can win. We can do all sorts of like endorsements and things. Forget about State Farm, and we can take you really, really big time, and all you need to do is clean up your act a little. And then mysteriously he cleans up his act. I have to admit, I'm not one of these people that I appreciate the stuff that he did and what he accomplished, and I think there is some comment. It's fair to say that maybe the Packers, didn't surround him with some talent. But like I've said before, he didn't show up in some of the big games. I have to admit, and maybe it's just a reflection, maybe I'm just not that big a person. I hope he plays the 65% of his games, of the snaps, so the Packers get the draft pick. I certainly don't want to see him to get hurt. But, if the Jets go 5-11 and the New York media breaks bad on him, I'm not going to lose any sleep at all. Chris in Slinger. Chris, you're on WTMJ.
Hey, Jeff, thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
So I like Aaron Rodgers. I've all my football life has been our two generational quarterbacks, Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. So it's hard to let go of that. But I guess I wish him well. I don't mind if he does good or bad. I'm kind of hoping he just does mediocre to less than to kind of prove, because I didn't feel he had it in the last few years. I thought there's all sorts of stuff he was screwing up, and so I just kind of like to be justified that maybe we had our time with him and that was it.
Yeah. How do you think the Jets are going to do this year? You got a prediction? You want to play pundit?
I like your 5-11. I'll do that 5-11 plus or minus 2 on the wins.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for the call, Chris. I am going to be absolutely fascinated, first couple games in particular, because I am going to make a point. I'm going to make a point. There's a couple taverns. I have been known to go to a couple taverns and watch Packers games and stuff. I am going to make a point when the Jets are, and my guess is the Jets are going to be televised in all sorts of games. I am going to make a point of trying to go out to a couple taverns, watching the Jets game just to see the reaction. Maybe it's because we're all horrible human beings, but my sense is more people, when he throws that first interception, I think people are going to be cheering. That's just my sense. We're going to take a quick break. Back with much more in just a minute. We're broadcasting live from Summerfest 2023. This is Jeff Wagner.
Don't go anywhere. Jeff Wagner is back right after this on WTMJ.
Oh, I'm already running late. Let's go.
There is a backup on I-94 eastbound.
Wait, is that Debbie Lazaga?
Expect delays.
Well, how bad is it?
Alternate routes will help you in your journey.
I feel better.
Get where you need to go calmly with traffic reporter Debbie Lazaga, only on News Radio WTMJ.
Follow me on social.
Hi, it's Samantha with Heiser. Summer's here, and so is the ability to order the all-new 2024 Toyota Highlander Grand. With more space, you'll be able to create more memories all year long. You'll get upfront pricing, no hidden market adjustment fees, and never pay over MSRP. Stop in or shop online today at HeiserToyota.com. At Heiser, today's your day.
See dealer for complete details. Tax, title, license, $3.99 service fees, and security deposit extra.
The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is here and ready to help. Anyone can call or text 988 or chat via 988wisconsin.org to get connected to a trained Lifeline counselor. Trained counselors are here to support anyone experiencing a suicidal, mental health, or substance use crisis. You can also contact 988 if you are concerned about someone. 988 is confidential and free to all Wisconsin residents. 988 24/7. Call, text, chat. Here to support you. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Off Mosquito Repellent, a clean feel so you can accessorize without mosquitoes. You can wear classic whites and jeans and know what you're covered with 8 hours of not sticky, fragrance-free protection. S.C. Johnson.
Seriously injured? Call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
A wiser way to build your wealth.
A wiser way to build your wealth starts with choosing a financial planning firm that is fee only, because it means they work for you. Fee-only firms like Financial Strategies, Inc. don't work for a bank or brokerage firm or an insurance company or mutual fund company, because we don't want our decisions for your best interest compromised in any way. We work for you, and only in your best interest. And fee-only means the success we care about most is yours. Ask your advisor, are you 100% fee-only for 100% of your clients 100% of the time? If they answer no, get a second opinion. I'm Jim Cantrell with Financial Strategies, Inc., a fee-only, comprehensive financial planning firm. And I believe we can show you a wiser way to build your wealth. So go to financialstrategiesinc.com and schedule a no-cost consultation.
Financial strategies, a wiser way to build your wealth.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. Jeff Wagner on WTMJ.
We're broadcasting live from Summerfest. This is one of these stupid criminal stories, and it's every once in a while I'm always amazed at why people commit crimes. And sometimes it's to get money. Sometimes it's just because they're stupid. Other times it's because they're lazy. And then sometimes it's because they're trying to get money and they're lazy and stupid. I don't know what category this one falls in. Milwaukee County Supervisor Sean Rowland to plead guilty to falsely certifying candidate signatures. Okay, to get yourself on the ballot in Wisconsin for various elections, you need to circulate nominating papers and you need to get signatures. It's the easiest thing in the world to get signatures. I think for county supervisors, you need 200 to 400 valid signatures. That should not be hard. You go out to a couple public places in your district, you stand there, and my guess is in the space of a couple hours, if you're at a public park or an event or something, you should be able to get 200 nominating signatures. It's not hard. Apparently, what he allegedly did was he submitted all these nomination papers. He certified that he had personally circulated the forms and obtained 144 signatures. On at least 4 of the pages reviewed, he apparently falsely certified that he had obtained each signature. So, what happened was, I think there's some different allegations about this. One was he set up a drop box to have people just come and sign the petitions. You're supposed to circulate. Hi, I'm Jeff Wagner. I'm running for whatever. Will you sign my petition? Or, hi, I'm circulating a petition for Jeff Wagner to run for county supervisor. Will you sign it? And then the person who circulates it has to sign and verify it. It's not hard. And this guy didn't do it. Now, I don't know if it's stupid or if it's lazy or whatever, but the effect is he gets convicted. He's going to apparently plead guilty of a misdemeanor and be fined. Convicted of a misdemeanor is not enough to bounce him off the county board, but you just look at some of these self-inflicted wounds that some of these people have, it makes you shake your head. We've got a lot of great stuff coming up in the 2 o'clock hour of the program. Please don't go anywhere. This is Jeff Wagner, WTMJ.
Jeff Wagner is back right after this on WTMJ.
Hey,
Hey, Fleet Farm fans, you asked, we listened. You wanted lower prices? You got them. In-store, online. We drop prices everywhere. Lower prices on summer favorites like Liquid Pool Shock, Griller's Gold Barbecue Pellets, and Airhead Towables. Lower prices on big-name pet care like Purina Tidy Cats. Lower prices on Valvoline Motor Oils. All because you said so. Look for the bright green price drop signs to find new lower prices on everything you need for everyday life. Only at Fleet Farm.
Do you check your savings account and wonder if you're even saving at all? At Town Bank, we view banking differently and actually want to see your savings grow. With our amazing new CD rates, you can now earn even more, so you can sit back and relax. Stop banking the same way, expecting different results, and start earning more. Go to townbank.us/locknewrates or visit a Town Bank branch nearest you today. Bank differently with Town Bank. Member FDIC.
What's better than the look and feel of real leather? The amazing prices at Steinhafels.
Guardians is kind of a lame name for a baseball team, but it sure beats what you used to be called.
Come on back. Come here. Let's do that again.
The Brewers are in Cleveland with coverage starting today at 5:35. We are the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
201, we have 77 degrees, hazy sunshine today, warm with a high of 87 inland. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. Quite a discovery inside a car involved in a high-speed chase.
Children were found in a minivan in Milwaukee that was involved in both a hit-and-run and police chase late Thursday night. Police say that a 24-year-old woman was driving the silver minivan when she struck a man who was walking near 36th and Florist on the city's northwest side before leading police on a chase, that until she crashed into another vehicle near 35th and Silver Spring. Inside the van, police found 5 children ranging in age from 1 year to 10 years old. They say that a 6-year-old boy was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. The woman arrested. Charges against her are pending. Mike Spalding, WTMJ News.
The pedestrian who was hit, a 42-year-old man, is in the hospital listed in serious condition. The UN says the civilian death toll in Ukraine's reached 9,083, including 530 children. Undersecretary General Rosemary DiCarlo says the war has become more unpredictable. She also addressed the recent dam explosion and threats to a nuclear power plant.
As reported by the IAEA, the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant is planning to resume pumping water that remains accessible despite a major loss of water in the Kakhovka reservoir. However, the safety and security situation at the plant is extremely fragile.
Nearly 16,000 civilians have been injured since that war began in February of 2022. President Biden says the U.S. and India are partnering together to take innovation to a new level. Business leaders met with the president and the Indian prime minister. Both countries pledged to ramp up cooperation on technology and defense during the final day of the state visit at the White House. Tomorrow marks 1 year since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, and Democrats are vowing to continue to fight for abortion rights. Some Republicans are calling for new restrictions.
President Biden and Vice President Harris are joining abortion rights groups for an event. This as congressional Democrats introduce new legislation centered on reproductive rights and access. The bills aren't expected to pass, but will force Republicans to go on the record. Meanwhile, GOP presidential candidate Mike Pence calling for a nationwide ban on abortion after 15 weeks.
We must not rest and must not relent until we restore the sanctity of life to the center of American law in every state in this country.
Lindsay Watts, ABC News, Washington.
New facility on Milwaukee's South Side will give young LGBTQ+ adults a place to call home. TMJ4's Julia Fellow has that story.
We're so lucky to have a community that embraces us.
Since 2019, Courage MKE has housed children in the foster care system from 12 to 17 years old. This new building will help take that mission further to help 18 to 24-year-olds who have aged out of the foster care system.
As we were seeing our residents age out, once they turn 18, there's about this much money for them.
Their building, the Clark Square neighborhood, can house up to 7 adults at a time. The young adults will have a caseworker, be required to obtain a high school diploma, and hold a job.
Burglars ransacked the building back in April and caused more than $25,000 in damage. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 2:04.
Holland's Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit MrHollandsHeatingandAir.com.
Mr. Holland's Home Services presents things that are exceptionally rare. The 1909 Honus Wagner baseball card, a 1937 three-legged buffalo nickel, a 4K photograph of Sasquatch, and service companies that show up on time. Now, Mr. Holland's crew can't help with antique trading cards and uncommon coinage, but we do take pride in being on time. We know that your time is more valuable than a mint 78 Skywalker action figure, so we strive to be punctual and productive. A home service company that cares about your time. Now that's rarer than an uncooked steak. Is it time for a new air conditioner, tankless water heater, or a whole house backup generator? There's no time like the present for some practical proactivity. 866-992-1717 or visit MrHollandsHomeservices.com. If you're looking for service that's as rare as hen's teeth, we can help.
An official message from Medicare. Don't let preventable diseases stop you from doing the things you love. Medicare Part D now covers all recommended vaccines, like tetanus and shingles, at no cost to you. That means you don't have to stop whipping up your favorite recipes or dusting off your guitar to show that rock stars never get old. Talk to your doctor about which vaccines are right for you so you can keep doing the things you love. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Make your next family trip one for the history books at Old World, Wisconsin. Set against the natural beauty of the Kettle Moraine State Forest, you'll enter a one-of-a-kind place where the modern world fades away. Explore authentically restored homes, farms, stores, and workshops representing more than a century of Wisconsin history. Meet heritage farm animals, visit a one-room schoolhouse, lend a hand in the blacksmith shop, ride a high-wheel bicycle, and so much more. Travel through time and the stories of America's heartland. Get your tickets at oldworldwisconsin.wisconsinhistory.org.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update.
Tumbling out of first place in the NL Central, the Brewers get back at it in Cleveland tonight. It's the first of 3 over the weekend against the Guardians and the first game of 10 straight away from home. On the hill, it's Wade Meilig and Shane Bieber. Check out the radio coverage at 5:35 with the pregame programming here on 620 WTMJ. The NBA draft turned out to be a busy evening for the Milwaukee Bucks. They went from the last pick of the night to also nabbing the 36th overall selection in a trade with Orlando. That pick became UConn forward Andre Jackson. Then picking up Kentucky guard Chris Livingston, Milwaukee also added former Gonzaga forward Drew Timme, signing him to a free agent contract. Other local ties in the draft last night, Golden State selected Greenfield native Brandon Podziemski in the first round. Marquette's Olivier Maxence Prosper went to the Dallas Mavericks, also in the first round. And Stevens Point's Joey Hauser, who played at Marquette and Michigan State, signed a two-way deal with Utah after the draft. Bob Brainerd, WTMJ Sport.
Taking a look at your roads with your Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Still slow going on the I-94 eastbound from the Zoo Interchange to downtown. Usually about a 6-minute drive. It's about 11 right now. I-43 southbound from Brown Deer Road into downtown. That's going to take you now about 25 minutes for that 11-mile stretch. I-894 eastbound from the Hale Interchange to the Mitchell Interchange. Just a little bit of a delay. Usually about a 6-minute drive. It's running about 7 this afternoon.
Traffic is sponsored by Harwood Place Senior Living. Learn more about Harwood Place Retirement Living's newly renovated apartments and updated pricing options. Visit harwoodplace.org or call to schedule a tour.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunshine, warm today, high 87 inland with an overnight low tonight 62. Sunny, warmer, a little humid tomorrow. Highs 84 to 90, then a chance of showers Sunday and Monday. Sunday 78, Monday 73, then mostly sunny on Tuesday with a high 72. Madison 81, right now Green Bay 80 degrees, Milwaukee 77. I'm Connie Weber. Sighting Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 2:08.
From the Pella Windows and Doors mobile studio at the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone, it's the Jeff Wagner Show, live from Summerfest. Now, here's Jeff Wagner.
Good afternoon, Wisconsin. Welcome back to the program. So very glad to have you with us. Yes, we are broadcasting live from Summerfest. It is an absolutely gorgeous day down here. So if you're looking for an excuse to kind of sneak out of the office a little bit early, this is it. And the lineup is just absolutely incredible. You've got the Zach Brown Band, which is going to be the headliner tonight, but all sorts of great performers as well. One of my personal favorites, Caroline Jones, is going to be performing at the she's here a little bit later on this afternoon as well. She's at 3:30 at the Generac Power Stage right behind me. The Avett Brothers at the BMO Harris Pavilion. Fits in the Tantrums. Great show, great weather. We've got a good crowd down here. Not overwhelming. By that I mean, you're not going to have to be in line 10 deep to get a beer or something, but certainly a good presence, and I think it's going to be a great attendance day and great lineup at Summerfest. So come down and enjoy yourself. We've got Pop Culture Corner coming up at the bottom of the hour, but a lot of stuff to do before that. Okay. We're kind of lightening it up as we move into what will be a wonderful summer weekend here. There was a piece that I saw on TV the other day, and they had a chef who was out there talking about how you can tell if your local McDonald's is a good McDonald's or a bad McDonald's. And so I was kind of curious as to this. He said, well, here's what you do. You go in. You go inside, so you don't wait you don't do the drive-through. You go in, maybe you bring some friends with you, and what you do is you order 10 Quarter Pounders with cheese. Order 10 Quarter Pounders with cheese, and maybe you also say, okay, on 7 of those, I don't want onions, something like that, or 3 of those you don't want onions. You can play around with that. And he says you can tell it's a good one if you can get your complete order in under 5 minutes. And all the ingredients or adjustments that you request are accurate, you ate at a good McDonald's. Now, I remember thinking about this, and I have a friend who owns 49 McDonald's. I'm just trying to imagine, and he runs good McDonald's, but I'm trying to imagine, if I came in and ordered 10 at the height of rush hour and ordered 10 Quarter Pounders with cheese and said, okay, I want a couple of them like specially made, is it really reasonable to say that you're going to get your order in 5 minutes and everything's going to be correct? I don't know. To me, that's not necessarily the indicator of whether it's a good McDonald's or not. But it raises this question that I was actually talking about with some people yesterday and today. If you go to a drive-through restaurant, and by a fast food restaurant, not necessarily drive-through, what are our expectations? In your opinion, what makes the particular restaurant good? What are you looking for? Do you want to not have to wait in the drive-through line an inordinate amount of time? Do you want your order to be correct? I don't mean to pick on McDonald's, but it's in my mind now. Okay, I ordered the Big Mac extra value meal, and I want to make sure that that's what I ended up getting. Is it? I don't know. I don't. I want to make sure that it's hot. I want to. What are you? As somebody that's going to patronize a fast food restaurant, and of course, this is different than like fine dining places. What are your expectations? And in your opinion, what makes that fast food restaurant good, a good one that you would go back to? And conversely, what is it that makes the fast food restaurant one that you would never go back to? And I say this because there are a handful of fast food restaurants around this area. I avoid them like the plague. Now, I don't go to fast food restaurants that much anymore, in case my wife is listening. I'm trying to eat healthier. But regardless, there are a couple places, even if it's right on the way, I'm not going to that particular place because every time I went to that particular place, the experience was absolutely horrible. So what makes it a good fast food restaurant? What makes it a bad fast food restaurant? 855-616-1620. That is the Old National Bank talk and text line. We're back to discuss in just a minute. And by the way, if you want to watch us while we do spoken word radio, it's easy. We have our own YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube, put in WTMJ, or go to our 620WTMJ.com page and just click Watch Live, and you can see what we look like down here at Summerfest. And you can see what the crowd at Summerfest looks like as well. Okay, fast food restaurants. What makes a fast food restaurant good, and what makes a fast food restaurant crummy? We discuss in just a minute. This is Jeff Wagner.
Don't go anywhere. Jeff Wagner is back right after this. This week on WTMJ.
Ray Banks is the former MPD assistant chief.
Until we're able to band together, we're probably going to always be struggling in the way that we're struggling right now with the young people in our community.
The big names.
It's the manager, Craig Counsell.
You know, these are the kids that my son's grown up with. It makes a memory forever for them, and that's a really cool thing.
The stories you're talking about.
There is no way in God's green earth that you would get me into one of these vessels.
News Radio WTMJ.
Hey, this is WTMJ's Jeff Wagner for the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin's Health Network. Look, Parkinson's disease affects around 1 million people in the U.S. and 15,000 in Wisconsin alone, with symptoms gradually worsening over time. We learned about who is affected, the signs and symptoms, treatment options, and more from Dr. Karen Blindauer, a neurologist with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network. Listen to that conversation and all our previous Everyday Health discussions simply by visiting the Features drop-down menu at WTMJ.com.
Hey, boaters!
Where else are you going to find weather stripping for a 77 Carver? That's what he said, and I don't know the answer to that one, but he sure was glad he found it here. I'm Dave Doro with Kendor Marine, and when it comes to boat parts and supplies, we have it all. If you're a boater and you need it, we got it. And that's why you got to get here. Boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Hey, boaters!
Inexperienced boaters are more than welcome here, because at Kendor Marine you'll find all the answers to your questions on parts, installation, troubleshooting, and the best part is, when we figure out what you need, we can grab it from our massive inventory of boat parts and supplies that no one around can match. I'm Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Your first date? Going well. The carnival? Cash only. But you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you, with access to over 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs. So when you decide to win that giant stuffed purple raccoon at $5 a throw, we're looking out for you. No matter how many throws it takes. You've got this. With 30,000 surcharge-free ATMs from Associated Bank. See AssociatedBank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Jeff Wagner on WTMJ.
This is the band Bleachers, who's performing at 9:30 this evening at the Generac Power Stage, right behind where I'm sitting. It's Summerfest 2023. Come on down to the lakefront. A lot of people having great fun. All right, if you're just tuning in, there was this Fox Business had it, and there was a chef who was saying, okay, well, here's how you can tell whether a fast food restaurant is good. Maybe it's using McDonald's in particular. Go in at 5:30 at night when they're busy. Go in, don't wait in the drive-thru. Go in, order 10 quarter pounders with cheese, and see if they can turn them out in 10 minutes, at 5 minutes. That was the category. And by the way, ask for a couple special orders, because good restaurants are going to be able to do that. To me, I'm like, well, I don't know. I'm not even sure that that's kind of a fair test. But I've been trying to think about this. I guess for me, one of the things that distinguishes a good, well, it's kind of like a sub A and sub B, between a good fast food restaurant and a crummy fast food restaurant. And I guess most of it has to do to me with like the drive-thru, because I tend to go through drive-thrus when I go through them. Number one is, the operative thing, at least in my mind, for fast food is it's got to be fast. Okay? I cannot tell you how many times you're stuck in that drive-thru and it just doesn't move. It just doesn't move. You've got to be able to get, and I'm not picking on the restaurants. I understand there's issues with help and stuff, but when you're sitting there, and there's a couple places that I will go to, and when you're sitting there and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting, and I don't know, maybe it's the guy ahead of you that's ordered like the 10 quarter pounders with cheese or whatever, but if you can't get people through the drive-thru in a quick fashion, to me, and if it happens repeatedly, I'm not going back. Number two, you got to get your orders right. And I understand that there's pressure to turn these things out. I don't have that happen to me as much anymore. But when you get the thing and the orders mixed up, well, that's an issue. Now the food quality is a factor too. But at least most of the times, I guess when I go to, whether it's a Wendy's or a McDonald's or whatever the burger doodle might be, typically typically it's within a certain standard, and I'm not struck often by, boy, this was terrible. 855-616-1620. Jeff, to me, a good fast food place has fast, friendly service. The food is hot, if that's what I ordered, and the order is correct. Nothing worse than driving away and finding out you got a completely wrong food order. I don't even mind waiting if something for something like fries, if it's currently cooking, and I have to wait for that. 855-616-1620. One of our texters says, now I'm hungry for a quarter pounder with cheese. Well, okay, you've got that there. Let's see. Jeff, my expectations are very low. If the food is sort of close to what I ordered and doesn't poison me, I figure I'm ahead of the game. Jeff, for me, Culver's is the best. Get custom order correct. Food is always hot and fresh and brought out to my car, even though I might wait 5 to 8 minutes. And, of course, it's delicious, and every Culver's I go to is identical. I agree. I think Culver's does it right, and I do believe that. I think Culver's, as a general rule, they do it right, and of course they are cooking everything individually. It's amazing to me how quickly they're able to turn stuff out, including you go through Culver's, and sometimes I've been known to order like the Culver's fish fry and stuff. So you got it. There's a little bit going on, and I think they do a good job with that. To me, Jeff, it's good customer service, good food, not too long a wait. Yeah, I like that. I think Chick-fil-A is a good example of that as well. Jeff, when I get upset is when people order a large portion through the drive-thru. If there's a big order, go inside, or the employee needs to let them know that they need to come in. I'm always amazed sometimes you pull in the drive-thru and people then start to read the menu. I mean, seriously, it's like, okay, you're going to an Arby's. You know what they've got at the Arby's. You're going to a McDonald's. Let me see. It's not like you're at a fine dining restaurant that you've never been to before, and you're starting to decide, do I want the poached salmon? Yeah, okay, when you pull up to a McDonald's, don't you have a pretty good idea in your mind what it is that you want? And if not, why not? Yeah, Jeff, in this day and age with worker shortages, I'm not necessarily worried about speed. It's more about getting the correct order and the food prepared well. If I want something fast, I stop at Quick Trip. But I'm like you, I generally avoid fast food. Yeah, I try to avoid it too, but every once in a while. But I will tell you, more than avoiding fast food, there are just restaurants that I just flat out choose to avoid because, you get this reputation of being, a bad restaurant. And matter of fact, I was telling you, my friend who owns these McDonald's, there's one that he does not own. And there's one that I say, gosh, this one's a really terrible McDonald's. And he says, yes, I know. We hear this all the time. People think it's one of mine. It's not. And my response is, you should buy it and then upgrade it. And he says, well, that's great, Jeff. Thanks. I appreciate that input. Just saying. We're going to take a quick break. Back with lots more in just a minute. We're broadcasting live from Summerfest. This is Jeff Wagner, WTMJ.
More Jeff Wagner right after this. No, he's not going to put you in the lineup. But luckily, this is the closest you can get to the skipper himself.
I mean, Robin is the all-time brewer for sure.
Craig Counsell, every Tuesday on Wisconsin's Morning News at 7:45.
Willie is, I think a player that, is capable of taking down some of the things that Robin has done.
This is Brewers 360, presented by Holiday Automotive and Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Outdoor living here is great, but it's best when it's at your own home. And there's a company called Outdoor Living Unlimited that will build you a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, all manner of things to enhance outdoor living at your place, even an outdoor kitchen. Contact Outdoor Living Unlimited and get creative about your yard. Your wishes, your ideas. Outdoor Living Unlimited's knowledge and expertise. Roll those dreams into reality. See OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com. That's OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Okay, so inventory. Then suppliers, then staffing plan, overhead, and bookkeeping. Or suppliers first, then bookkeeping, inventory, overhead.
Running a small business can be full of distractions. U.S. Cellular wants to give small business owners one less thing to think about. 3 months of free service with 10 gigabytes of mobile hotspot data.
Oh, that's nice.
Join the network that allows you and your business to focus on what really matters. Get 3 months of free service with 10 gigabytes of mobile hotspot data. U.S. Cellular. Built for business, built for us. Terms and conditions apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. I always thought Vince Lombardi came up with that famous sports nugget, but it turns out he borrowed it from a college coach. And now I'm going to borrow it too. Because when there are 10 or 20 offers on a property, there's only one winner. In today's inventory-starved real estate market, you need a Lombardi-level mortgage coach, one who has all the best plays in the playbook. Going with your bank for your pre-approval is like playing in a professional playoff game with the JV coach at the helm. The Lombardi-level coaches at Accunet are called senior loan consultants, and each one has been trained by me to help you and your real estate agent work as one team to deliver the one and only thing that matters, winning. So if you've been losing with your flimsy bank pre-approval, trade up today to a rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval and a Lombardi-level game plan. And if you're just getting started, why not start with the best? Click on the blue button today and get started with your winning game plan at accunet.com.
This is Jeff Wagner on WTMJ.
I haven't had Kentucky Fried Chicken, if my wife is listening, in years. I haven't, but I like Kentucky Fried Chicken. There used to be a Kentucky Fried Chicken at I know it is Brownport. It's not like River Point. It's it's in Fox Point, Port Washington Road and Brown Deer Road. Okay, used to be. This is when I was a kid. It was the worst Kentucky Fried Chicken in the metro area. You would go in at 6:30 at night, and you'd order chicken, and they'd say they were out. Okay, this is Kentucky Fried Chicken. This is back in the day. Now they might have different stuff. But then all they had was chicken. So you're like, well, okay, I guess you could order mashed potatoes or something. But it's like 6:30. The place is open till like 8:30 or whatever. And they say that they're out of chicken. So we would say, okay, we'll wait, and then they'd look at you, well, it's going to take a half hour. We'll wait. Well, what was happening is the employees, they wouldn't want to make more chicken. So they'd run out of chicken, and it's like, here, we're just going to sit around and, I don't know, twiddle our thumbs for an hour and a half. So we don't have chicken. But I remember I'd say this to people. I went to Kentucky Fried Chicken. They were out of chicken. What do you mean they were out of chicken? Well, no, Jeff, they were out of chicken. Go figure. Hey, this saga of Northridge Mall continues. There was for those of you who haven't been following it, Northridge Mall, which is, if you grew up on the North Shore like I did, you hung out at Northridge. It was a thriving mall. It all fell apart. The wheels completely and totally came off. Back in the 90s and the early part of 2000. It's now a falling down, decrepit eyesore that is also a danger. The owners of the Northridge Mall is this Asian company who have been doing everything they can to try to duck responsibility. And the city of Milwaukee has been trying to get it torn down. They want a raise order. There's a Milwaukee County Circuit Judge who's extremely frustrated with this. And one of the developments was that the Asian company has found a local buyer who is right now kind of maintaining it, and the local buyer is willing to come in. They say, look, we'll take this over. We will buy it, and what we want to do is we want to use it for storage things. We want to use it for light industrial. This is what our goal is. And the city of Milwaukee is objecting to that because the city of Milwaukee says, well, our plans say that instead of using it for light industrial, we'd like to use this as some version of commercial and residential. In other words, we'd like the Northridge Mall to go back to what it was, or something similar to what it was, back in its heyday in the 1980s, which is all well and good. But, I'd like to be 25 years younger and have $25 million to my name. It's just not going to happen. The reality is it's an eyesore, it's decrepit. The neighborhood has been struggling for years and years, and it's never, ever, or at least not in my lifetime, and probably not in your lifetime, it's not going to be what it was. And so this idea that the city has that, okay, we want to take millions and millions of dollars that, by the way, we don't have. We want to tear this down ourselves, and then we want to try to market it, to turn it into something that's going to be, again, thriving retail or whatever, in an area that isn't going to support that now or anytime in the future is crazy. You've got a buyer there that's willing to come in and say, look, we're gonna deal with this. We're not going to require the city to pay lots and lots of money. We're going to take over this particular issue, and we're going to create some jobs. Might not be as many jobs as if it was a thriving retailer area or something, but we're going to turn it into something that it hasn't been for decades. Useful space in an area. And the city of Milwaukee so far has said no to that. Was a meeting yesterday, I think, between the people that want to buy it and the local aldermen, getting input from the community. And again, the question is, well, we're asking the community what they think should be done with it. Well, it's fine to ask the community what they think should be done with it, but there's also this thing called the real world that's out there, and the real world pretty much dictates that there's going to be limited use for that space. And sometimes, what's the old cliche? A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. If I were the city of Milwaukee, I would be doing everything I possibly could to facilitate the sale of this decrepit eyesore to this local company, let them do what they plan to do, and then just move on. Because if the city tears it down and tries to market it, it's going to sit vacant for another decade at least. Okay, when we come back, it's that time of the week, but right now, WTMJ Breaking News time is 2:30 p.m. And from the WTMJ Breaking News Center, here's Connie Weber.
Thanks, Jeff. A $32 million budget cut to the UW system takes another step toward the governor's desk. That cut comes at a time when Wisconsin has a record $7 billion surplus. Governor Evers has threatened to veto the GOP-backed state budget if the UW system cuts were involved. The Wisconsin Realtors Association reports the median price for a home statewide now $294,000, a more than 90% increase since 2013 and nearly 50% increase since 2018. Madison, Green Bay, Waukesha, Racine, Kenosha, and Milwaukee boast median home sale prices north of $300,000. The reason? Inventory's low. Deadly implosion at the Titan submersible raises questions about whether the vessel exploring the Titanic wreckage was destined for its own disaster because of its unconventional design and its creator's refusal to submit to safety checks that are standard in the industry. Outside experts say the design and construction of the submersible put greater stress on its structure. I-95 has reopened to some traffic less than 2 weeks after that deadly collapse in Philadelphia. An elevated section collapsed June 11th after a semi-truck hauling gasoline flipped and caught fire. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is now down 224 points and the Nasdaq down 131. The S&P 500 is off 33 points. Get on track with investment and retirement planning. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button today. Take a look at your roads now with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. We still have delays. I-94 eastbound from the Zoo interchange into downtown. That's about a 10-minute drive. I-43 northbound and southbound between Brown Deer Road and downtown. Northbound about a 16-minute drive. Southbound about a 26-minute drive. That's just an 11-mile section, but it's going to take you about 26 minutes. I-894 eastbound from the Hale interchange to the Mitchell interchange, running about 8 minutes this afternoon.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback.
Call Tayback for the payback. Tayback Law is the local veterans benefit claims law firm. They're now accepting Camp Lejeune claims. Call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast: warm today with a high of 87 inland, mainly clear tonight with a low 62. Sunny, warmer, more humid tomorrow, highs 84 to 90. A chance of showers and thunderstorms Sunday and into Monday. Sunday's high 78, Monday 73. Tuesday, mostly sunny skies with a high of 72. Right now in Milwaukee, we're at 77 degrees. I'm Connie Weber. Sighting Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 2:33.
I'm Jeff Wagner. It's that time of the week, Pop Culture Corner from Summerfest, right around the corner.
Stick around. Jeff Wagner is right around the corner.
Make your next family trip one for the history books at Old World, Wisconsin. Set against the natural beauty of the Kettle Moraine State Forest, you'll enter a one-of-a-kind place where the modern world fades away. Explore authentically restored homes, farms, stores, and workshops representing more than a century of Wisconsin history. Meet heritage farm animals, visit a one-room schoolhouse, lend a hand in the blacksmith shop, ride a high-wheel bicycle, and so much more. Travel through time and the stories of America's heartland. Get your tickets at oldworldwisconsin.wisconsinhistory.org.
Matt had just moved into his first apartment and needed furniture to fill it, but he didn't have a big credit line. So I told him about St. Vincent de Paul. There's always a nice selection of gently used furniture there, and sometimes you can find some really cool retro pieces. And the best part is, it's always super affordable. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores for first-time furniture buyers or anyone looking for great deals on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Hi, it's Samantha with Heiser. Summer's here. Enjoy with good company and great adventures with the perfect vehicle. Choose from our options on lot or special order one today. Remember, you'll get upfront pricing, and we have inventory under MSRP. Stop in or shop online and see all our specials at Heiser.com. At Heiser, today's your day.
See dealer for complete details.
Lane's Farm and Fleet's 4th of July sale is going on now. We're saluting the red, white, and blue with unbeatable deals on everything you need to celebrate outdoors. Like men's Lee Extreme Motion Shorts, just $34.99. Roundup Sure Shot Weed and Grass Killer for Lawns, $29.99 plus $5 mail-in rebate. Select Lifetime Sit-In Kayaks, only $229.99. Rewards members save an extra $20. And Jolly Pets Dog Toys, 25% off.
Find value at Lane's Farm and Fleet.
Gather round all. It's time for Wagner's Pop Culture Corner. Time to put aside the heavy lifting and have a good time at the Old National Bank talk and text line at 855-616-1620. Old National Bank. Get old. Now, here's Jeff Wagner.
Broadcasting live from Summerfest. I love the live remotes. I love being at Summerfest. I love being at State Fair. You just wouldn't believe some of the things that you see. It's just different from being in these studios. Like the big voice guy says, it's pop culture time, Pop Culture Corner time, brought to you by our friends at Palermo's Pizza, who's been sponsoring this for the last couple years. Delicious frozen pizzas made right here in Wisconsin for over 55 years. Palermo's is Wisconsin's hometown pizza. One of our callers, and someday we're going to start doing texters as well, but right now it's just callers. One of our callers, in the exclusive discretion of my producer Samantha, will win our Palermo's Pizza prize package, which is a coupon good for 2 frozen pizzas. This really cool Palermo's Pizza pizza cutter, and some other Palermo stuff as well. But one of the callers will get that. Okay, so Pop Culture Corner. Well, sometimes the topics I have to think, okay, what are we going to do? What are we going to talk about? Sometimes it's TV, sometimes it's movies. Last week it was books. Sometimes it's food, sometimes it's sports related. We are at Summerfest. June 21st was the summer solstice. If you want to be bummed out, the daylight hours are now decreasing. We're heading towards December, but it is a wonderful summer day. The summer is ahead of us. We are at Summerfest. There's all sorts of great music around. So here's what we're going to do for Pop Culture Corner today. Your soundtrack of the summer. The one song when you are driving or walking or whatever, you're at your home, you're listening, the one song that comes on the radio or comes on your stereo or whatever that says it is summer. Your personal soundtrack of the summer. Now, there's lots of ways you can define that. For me, first of all, it's got to be, that's one that you just want to turn it up. Secondly, you want to sing along even if you can't sing. It doesn't matter. 855-616-1620. That is the Old National Bank talk and text line. Pop Culture Corner this week in recognition and honor of Summerfest. The one song that for you screams summer. It is your soundtrack of the summer. 855-616-1620. We are back to discuss in just a moment.
More Jeff Wagner right after this.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's. Flavor is our family's business.
Get up, get out, get over here, go! It's the Grand Slam giveaway at Potawatomi. This June, play with your club card and you'll have 4 chances to hit big and slide into home with a share of the show-stopping $400,000 in cash and prizes. 50 winners each Thursday. Step up and knock your luck out of the park. Only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. More info at paysbig.com/Grand Slam. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
Go with your gut. Your dog's immune system is based in the gut. A diet lacking in nutrients can cause itching, scratching, and a weak immune system. However, there is a solution. DINOVITE. Dinovite.
It took a grand total of 2 weeks. The dog stopped itching, the hair stopped falling out.
Try Dinovite for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Learn more at dinovite.com/radio.
Happier, healthier with every bite. Over 1 million pets helped with Dinovite.
Simply Safe was named Best Home Security of 2023 by U.S. News and World Report. But we don't do what we do for the accolades. We do it to protect you and everything you love. Our advanced sensors, indoor and outdoor HD cameras, and hazard detectors are powered by live 24/7 professional monitoring, so you get emergency help fast. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Hurt by a truck? Call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
What if you could build a 6-figure retirement income with almost half the money saved? You heard that right. Get a discount on your retirement, creating a 6-figure income with 40% less than traditional 401ks and mutual funds. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons, best-selling author and executive producer of a new Hollywood documentary called The Baby Boomer Dilemma. In this film, economists and Nobel Prize-winning PhDs from Wharton, MIT, and Stanford share a strange concept I call the retirement discount. It gives you more retirement income with the same dollar saved, and your money is never at risk if the market crashes. That's right. If the market crashes 30%, you lose nothing. Even people who are on track have shifted money to this new strategy because it increases their retirement income or can allow them to stop working years sooner. So if you are over 50 and want a bigger, better retirement with less money, call to get a free copy of this brand new movie, 1-800-578-3535. This is a $30 value, but when you call today, you get it completely free, plus 2 hours of bonus behind-the-scenes footage. No credit card required. Call right now. 1-800-578-3535. That's 1-800-578-3535. Again, 1-800-578-3535.
It's pop culture time. Now back to take your calls. Here's Jeff Wagner.
855-616-1620. We're down at Summerfest. It is the first Friday. We're heading into a wonderful summer weekend. What could Pop Culture Corner be other than your soundtrack of the summer? That one song when you hear, you want to turn it up, you want to sing along, that song that says summer to you. Now, I've got a number of them that I'll probably share over the course of the next 15 minutes or so, but let me start it off. Brown Eyed Girl, Van Morrison, and then it's a cover that Jimmy Buffett does, and it's still kind of up in the air whether Buffett's going to be performing here or not. They're waiting final word. They should have it next week, depending on what his health situation is. But when I hear Brown Eyed Girl, that just screams summer to me. 855-616-1620. Let's start with Alyssa in Watertown.
Hello, Jeff.
Hello. What song screams summer?
Today?
I am well. I'm down at Summerfest. The sun is shining. It doesn't get better than that for me, Alyssa. What's your song of the summer?
Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys.
You know, you could pick one of 100 Beach Boys songs. California Girls.
I just jammed this one today.
Okay, got it. That works. Thanks for the call. Yeah, I mean, there's so many of those Beach Boys songs. When I think of the Beach Boys, to me, I think California Girls would come to mind. But I mean, Good Vibrations, wonderful song, no question about it. Let's talk to Margaret in Oak Creek. Margaret, you're in WTMJ.
Hi.
Hi, Margaret.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. You're in the air. What's your song?
Summer in the City.
Okay, tell me why.
I just remember it when I was younger, and it just seems to be the song for summer.
Yep. The Lovin' Spoonful. You know, that goes back a little ways.
Exactly.
that
yeah,
goes
well,
back
okay. I was
well, I knew it too.
in the crib, okay?
Oh, I got it. I knew it too. I knew the Lovin' Spoonful. I got it. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. It wasn't a challenge. It was just, look, I understand if we are of a certain generation and we remember that. 855-616-1620. Scott in East Troy. Scott, you're on WTMJ. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I have to say, Don Henley, Boys of Summer.
Yeah, that's it's funny after the Eagles broke up after kind of like their first run, a couple of them went on and did nothing. But Don Henley, Fry too, but Don Henley, he went on to have a lot of great songs, and that's clearly one, this Boys of Summer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. Thanks for the call. Appreciate you joining us. Yeah, Don, that would be a tremendous one as well. 855-616-1620. Kevin in Wauwatosa. Kevin, you're on WTMJ. Good afternoon.
Hey, Jeff. How are you doing?
I am well, thank you. What's your soundtrack of the summer, the song you just got to hear?
Well, I would say, I told your screener, I said a lot of the 70s, easy listening 70s, like yacht rock type music.
Yeah, I like yacht
Seals
rock.
And Cross. Seals and Cross, Summer Breeze, Fleetwood Mac, Hall Notes, anything like that. I just usually put it on like Spotify, yacht rock, and that's my summer jam.
Yeah, Summer Breeze. I think Summer Breeze is just a great one. It's a little, it's just kind of a mellow sort of thing, but sometimes that's what you want. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it, Kevin. Yeah, sometimes that's exactly what you want. Let's see. Brown-Eyed Girl, I'm with you. Jeff, Toes from the Zach Brown band. Yeah, I got my toes in my water, my feet in the sand. That's it. Ventura Highway by America. Great one, no question about it. Ice Cream Man by Van Halen. Jeff, to me, it's Summertime by Kenny Chesney. I think there's a lot with that. Let me see. Summer Means Fun by Jan and Dean. Gotta love that one as well. Jeff, for me, it's Sly and the Family Stone. Hot Fun in the Summertime. Can't go wrong with that one either. 855-616-1620. Steve in Eagle. Steve, you're on WTMJ. Good afternoon.
Hey, Jeff. Yeah, my favorite summer song is Ventura Highway by America.
Oh, yeah. America, I think they were in town a couple of weeks ago. I think that they were doing a show. It's amazing how many hits that America had over the years.
Yeah.
No, they're incredibly talented. No, Ventura Highway, you're right. Thanks for calling. It's a great one as well. Jeff, for me, Alice Cooper, it's School's Out for the Summer. Number of people are with our caller who are talking about, for me, it's Boys of Summer by Don Henley. I can't go wrong with that one as well. Blake Shelton's Some Beach. That's an interesting choice. Let's see. Jeff, my song would be Saturday in the Park by Chicago. Just listened to a tribute band last night in Manitowoc that did it. Jeff, for me, Surfin' Safari. That would be by the Beach Boys as well. Can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with that. 855-616-1620. To me, Jeff, the summer is Bye Bye Miss American Pie. American Pie by Don McLean. Great song. Don't know if I think of it necessarily as being a summer song, but it's very great. Let's talk to, let's see, Marty in Racine. Marty, you're on WTMJ. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Jeff. How are you doing?
I am well, thank you. All right, I'm getting in the mood for summer by listening to everybody's songs. What's your song of the summer?
My song of the summer is an entire album called Endless Summer by the Beach Boys.
Yeah. Yep. Do you have a favorite?
Surfing USA, Surfer Girl, California Girls.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the Beach Boys. There's no question about it. Well, Marty, not only do I agree with you, but my producer Samantha agrees with you as well. So you are the winner this week of our Palermo's Pizza prize package. So have a couple frozen pizzas on us, okay?
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Can't go wrong with the Beach Boys. Thanks for joining us. Let's see. Fran in Bristol. Fran, you're on WTMJ. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So your soundtrack of the summer.
From Porgy. Okay, my song is from Porgy and Bess. Probably nobody else is going to think of it, but it's summertime and the living is easy.
You know, Fran, I wish I had a second Palermo's Pizza prize package to give you today, because not only did you sing, but you were in key. You know, you carried the tune. So I am impressed. I would not try to do that in live radio, but you did. That's a great song. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. Maybe next time we do a music topic, that should be the requirement in order to win the prize. You not only have to, come up with a song or whatever, but you also had to, like sing like a bar of it. Jeff, for me, it's anything by Wisconsin native Steve Miller. Every time I hear a Steve Miller song, I think about a warm summer day down at Summerfest. Yes, a couple people are mentioning Kid Rock, All Summer Long, which, did really, really well as well. Tim in Cudahy. Tim, you're on WTMJ. Good afternoon.
Hi, Jeff. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I'm gonna go a little louder than everyone else has been. Guns N' Roses, Paradise City.
Okay.
Came out in '87. I was a young man then, and was during the summer. Man, that was a great summer.
That's it. Thanks for the call, Tim. I mean, that's right. We have to be able to at least squeeze in one headbanging tune, during the segment. There's no doubt about it. Let's see, Jeff. For me, I love the movie Grease and those summer nights. Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. Jeff, for me, Bryan Adams, Summer of '69. It takes me back to high school. Jeff, Tom Petty, Running Down a Dream. That's pretty darn good as well. I love these. Now one of the things we do these topics is going to make me want to go back and kind of look into my CD collection and look into my music collection and try to find about that. Jeff, for me, I Can't Drive 55 by Sammy Hagar. All right. Jeff, Under the Boardwalk. Yeah, I like that. A lot of people saying Summer in the City. Henry in Greenfield. Henry, you're on WTMJ. Good afternoon.
Hi, it's actually Harry, but that's good enough.
Oh, Harry. Hi, Harry.
Hi, how you doing, Jeff? Jeff, good. I have to say, my favorite of all time is Summer by War. And it's, especially that first line, riding around town with all the windows down, kind of takes me back to my youth here, because we had roll-down windows. We didn't have push-button windows, and it was fun.
Yeah,
so,
it's by War. No, thanks for the call. Thanks for the call, Henry. Anybody that calls up and wants to refer to a war tune, that's okay with me too. That's tremendous. Look, here's the bottom line. This is one of the things, and it's one of the reasons I love doing segments like this. I understand that there's a lot that divides us. I understand politics divides us. I understand sports divides us. I understand our views on the economy divide us. But one of the things that I think all brings us all together is music. And doesn't matter whether you're a far left-wing Democrat or a far right-wing Republican. We can all agree that there's lots of great tunes that are out there and stuff. We can all love the Beach Boys, and we can all love, Don Henley doing his songs, and we can all love Van Morrison, and we can all love Jimmy Buffett. The whole idea, and matter of fact, speaking of Buffett, I'm surprised nobody said like Margaritaville and things, which interestingly, as a huge parrot head myself, Margaritaville isn't one of my very favorite songs. But, you can pick out a lot of these different things, and you can come to some sort of consensus. Okay, here's my consensus right now. I'm just about out of here, but we've got John Mercure, Wisconsin's Afternoon News. John's in the house for Summerfest 2023. We'll be back to find out what he's got on his mind in just a moment.
Thanks for participating in this week's Pop Culture Corner. Stay tuned next week for another